we have celebrated 45th BTTC week. It is one of our best institutional practice. BTTC week, an annual feature, is designed for our student teachers for showcasing their creativity and talent. They undergo various activities to bring out individual and collective excellence in a dynamic and nurturing environment. The week-long celebration is the time to cooperate, develop team spirit, and also compete with their peers and acquire hand-on experience, lots of positivity all around. At BTTC, we believe in making a difference in the world by committing ourselves to shaping the future of education and thus the future of society. We are involved in the preparation of teachers who provide service to the local and global community to contribute significantly to the enhancement of the teaching profession, fostering a global community committed to quality education and sustainable development. This year, very thoughtfully, the week has been designed to initiate with international conference with the theme of creating centers of excellence, enabling and empowering teachers, which resonates deeply with the vision of a developed India working towards Viksit Bharat. Excellence is not merely a destination, but a journey, requiring dedication, innovation, and continuous improvement. Through this conference, we will engage in insightful discussions, share best practices, and learn from each other's experiences. Together, let us harness our collective wisdom and creativity to unlock new opportunities, overcome challenges, and strive for excellence in all that we do. May this conference inspire and empower us to reach greater heights and make a positive impact on the world around us. Lighting is auspicious and prayer is powerful, strengthening and self-directive. I request Honorable Vice Chancellor Madam, along with the dignitaries, to please light the lamp and formally inaugurate 45th BTTC Week and International Conference. Let us all seek the blessings before we begin.
अभी इधर लेके जाते हैं साइड से जा together. Please be seated. Thank you.
Thank you to all for elevating the spiritual environment in this world of education. Our dear principal, Dr. Bhagwan Balani, inspiring, encouraging, and committed to his duty, passionate educationist and enthusiastic teacher, Dean of Humanities and Registrar at I request Principal Dr. Balani to welcome Honorable Vice Chancellors for today, our guests of the day. Welcome and acknowledge our students for their enthusiasm in this festivity of Bttc Week 2024. Requesting Dr. Balani to welcome dignitaries and all the participants.
Good morning to one and all. Honorable Vice Chancellor, HSLC University, Professor Himlataji Pagla ji, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Mr. Raja Luis ji, our dear colleagues, Professor Shanbag ma'am, Professor Pooja ma'am, and Komi ma'am, and my dear colleagues from Bombay Teachers Training College and teachers from all other institutions, and my dear students. When we were brainstorming to title this international conference, we thought BTTC has got a vision to emerge as a center of excellence in teacher education. And we were rethinking to expand our vision. We thought, why to not add one more component to it, which we got in our last series as far as research in teacher education is concerned. Now, BTTC teachers must publish their papers in international journals. So what we did, we got the cue from there, we got the suggestion from there, and then we thought, while organizing this conference, no doubt, research will be the core component of this international conference, but we will make it more open. We will invite teachers across the globe, let them be teaching from any level, from KG to PG, across all disciplines. Let them come and share their best practices and the stories with the audience. Today I am very happy to share with you that all the faculty members of Bombay Teachers Training College have worked very hard and inspired B.Ed student teachers, PhD scholars, MA students, PhD students to write paper for this conference. And I am very happy to share with you that we have got response. We received 67 research papers. 76 number has gone up, 76 research papers, and I believe that teachers, when they do the research, they pick up many things through their observation, through their findings, and they implement in the classroom. And I believe that if we will do that, we can really, in our own way, and create different centers of excellence in our institution. I believe that there's a lot of takeaway for all of us to contribute significantly as far as the teachers. That's why we say that creating centers of excellence, enabling and empowering teachers. It reminds me BTTC's journey during pandemic. HSLC University got recognition from the government of Maharashtra as the university. BTTC became a constituent college, and immediately we revised the syllabus. And the first thing that we did in the syllabus, we brought educational research as a core course, which is there in the third semester. Now, we will be having our board of study meeting very soon, and we are going to propose to have a core course, educational research in the first semester itself, so that we can start giving training to the students about the research and scientific processes from the very first semester itself. I believe that with the help of the guidance of our Vice Chancellor Ma'am, BTTC will put all its efforts to popularize research-based processes and pedagogies, and we will definitely going to take very positive steps to publish research papers in recognized Indian as well as global journals. I'm not taking much of your time because Honorable Vice Chancellor Ma'am is already here to deliver a keynote address and share her vision and what BTCC can do. I'm looking forward to listen to her, and even our dear special guest, Professor Raja Luis is also there from Netherlands. Looking forward to his presentation, and I believe that together we can do a lot. I should not forget the contribution of Dr. Kumi Vivena, who is a very inspiring source for BTTC teachers and the students, because she has given a very rigorous, robust training to our students, and as a result of that, we are able to organize this. So I welcome you all, and let us put pool our resources together and come with wonderful outcome of this international conference. Thank you. God bless you all.
Thank you, Dr. Balani. Our homes serve as the primary breeding ground for excellence in character, behavior, and personality development. At BTTC, we try to instill the values, we create the environment, and we nurture relationships. It's my duty to mention here the level of research environment Principal Dr. Balani has created at BTTC. The major credit of this conference goes to his leadership, where, ma'am, we have received 18 papers are going to be presented by BA students, 25 papers from outside Mumbai, Maharashtra, and 30 papers from outside HSNC University, other universities of Mumbai, and 2 international papers. So I give this credit to the great leadership of Dr. Balani for the compilation of 76 abstracts before the release of before the beginning of today's conference. Once again, welcoming you all to the conference on developing excellence for the common goal. Let's explore and promote strategies for achieving excellence in various aspects of our lives, whether personal, professional, or societal. Welcoming you all once again, I hand over the platform to Ms. Sadia and Mr. Arya.
Thank you, ma'am. Greetings, everyone. How can the bird that is born for joy sit in a cage and sing? How can a child, when feels annoyed, but droop his tender wing and forget his youthful spring? William Blake has rightly noted the need for innovation and creativity and freedom in a child's education in his poem, The Schoolboy.
As Oprah Winfrey once said, education is the key to unlocking the world, a passport for freedom. As we embark on the journey of knowledge exchange and collaboration, let us take a moment to reflect on the profound impact education has on shaping future of our societies. It is through education that we empower individuals and drive positive change in the world.
On this note, I would now like to invite the Vice Chancellor of HSNC University, Mumbai, Professor Dr. Hemlata K. Bagla, to deliver the keynote address. I would request Dr. Balani, sir, to kindly present ma'am with a token of our love.
इसमें ये कर रहा हूँ, बाद में आप ये कर लेना।
I request Dr. Kalani to present a small token of our love to Dr. Rajan. I would also request sir to offer Dr. Pooja Ramchandani, Principal of HR College, to respond.
फोटो ले, वीडियो ले।
पार्टिसिपेंट्स को म्यूट कर
We would also like to express our gratitude to Dr. Tejashree Shamba, Principal of KC College. We would also like to thank Dr. Kumi Vivena for being with us today. We would also like to express our gratitude to Dr. Sybil Thomas. Thank you everyone. Thank you sir. Thank you ma'am. Please be seated. I now would like to hand over to Dr. Bhavna.
Namaste. Purnamadam. Purnamadam, Purnamidam, Purnata, Purnamudachyate, Purnasya, Purnamadaya, Purnamevavashishyate. पूर्णता से पूर्ण भी निकालेंगे तो भी पूर्ण रहता है. And this is an example of the universe. Which space you will take out from this Purna universe and what will be lost from the universe. This is the example, and this is how we as teachers, you as teachers, have to understand if a big chunk of your knowledge, your energy, your love and affection is taken out, it continues to make you complete. And to those teachers who have taught us, and to those teachers who will teach the world and youngsters, my naman, and God bless all of you. May you all be wonderful teachers, and may this institution be that excellent center of teacher education. I would begin by extending gratitude to Raja Louis Ji, Vice Chancellor of Institutions of and Universities of Mahesh Maharishi Ji,
We happened to meet just a couple of months back, but the bond has become strong. So strong, wherever he is in the world, it doesn't find it strong. And when I told Dr. Balani that your conference will be complete, Purnathatavagi, when you have Rajan Lewis with you, he says, ma'am, please extend, ask him. I was traveling, so we couldn't connect. And I just sent a message, and he replied through audio message. When? And I said, no, forget you. You also want more people and more speakers from you, so that our students, our teachers should get encouragement. So on behalf of all of you, may I extend thanks and gratitude to Rajan Lewis ji for that source of inspiration and taking our schedule and being with us. Coming to Professor Kumi Viviana, a couple of months back when I interacted with her, and we were trying to, I requested that, or she had designed skill management program, curriculum for the students of university. And she said, when we sat, understand modules, curriculum, whom it should be suited to. And I said, the best should get it, and it should start from the teachers. And you know Dr. Balani, he wants the best for the students. He said, can I start in Bttc? And that's where Professor Kumi Viviana started her first course, and she's ready for the second one to start. That too in Marathi. That's how we work. We already talk of the next level. And very soon, in the month of December, she's already planning a program for all of you, and we should discuss and take it forward. I have Dr. Balani sitting out here. I don't say right hand and left hand. And we don't work like pillars of this, no. These all today's education. Somebody who is emotionally so connected with me, with institution, that one more sentence and his eyes will become watery. One more sentence and he becomes emotional. And you are so blessed to work with an institution, with such individuals, and you are so blessed to have this leader. You rightly said, Mandiji, another leader sitting out here. Dr. Michael, congratulations, Dr. Balani. May we create this center as the best center and ever this world knows. And I shall be with you, assisting you. We have two wonderful, beautiful ladies who are always there with me, ready to clone me, ready to substitute me. Dr. Pooja Balani, Dean Commerce and Management, Principal HR College. For me, she's a moon. She looks like a moon, but she doesn't fade, doesn't decrease her brilliance. And she makes her institution to her heart that I have to tell her, stop, come to university. But by excelling HR College as a leader, automatically university benefits that I know, but I want her radiance to come into university. She doesn't know that I want to take her out of this small constellation to larger skies, and that's what I expect out of her. Dr. Tejaswi Shanbag, a great researcher, life science scientist, and very nice and spiritually oriented to heart. When such people are with you, you don't have to blink your eyes and just hand over seat. That's how I became former principal of KCH. Principal of KCH. That's the beginning. Are we ready for the beginning? Yes. Whatever we are, whichever region we come from, whichever strata we come from, we have to accept first what we are. And the first thing, accept what gender you are from. Accept that your skin, what you are in, and lead the world. If this thought, if as teachers, as students, we pass it on, we have many words, gender equality, gender sensitivity. No, just understand that somebody wants to accept in a particular gender, accept. Acceptance is what I would want, that if you become an excellent center of excellence, center doesn't become excellent just like that. It is to be embedded. You have to, is like a pot which has, you have to fill that pot with all these attributes, and to begin as teachers, because I am first teacher, then vice chancellor. This is an administrative post. I began my life as a teacher when I was, should I tell you the truth? Yes. And the truth is like yours. The first person we meet is mother and then teacher, and we start becoming teacher in our lives. We start scribbling on the walls. Yes? Yes. How many of you not done not thought of being a teacher. The first profession comes to us as a teacher. Start teaching to an invisible crowd at the age of 5, 6. Wearing dupattas, wearing saris. I remember, I don't know many of you, this is very big in our journey. Coming to a question, I don't want this to be a speech. I want to ask each one of you, what is the objective of this conference? What is the objective? We as educator, as education system, is thinking or should first think. Then you study all subjects. What is expected out of you as teachers, out of us as administrators and educators? What is that expectation? Couple of answers, then I give you the answer. I've written down my thoughts.
Yeah.
Yeah, please. Yes.
I think from this conference, we expect that we will be exposed to the world as such. We'll get to know what the world thinks of education and their ideas. We'll get to know the essence of globalization. I believe is a step forward. This international conference can help us understand that and know what the field of education expects from us and how we can be. How we
I will
can
take your
contribute.
second sentence. What is the field of education the system expects from you? Because it teaches. What world wants is secondary. What this education system expects out of you. Yes.
Bring about change in the community.
How do you bring the change? What change?
The bookish knowledge is not just required.
Hold on. Wonderful. Bookish knowledge. What else? What is it we want? What is the objective of education system or education? Just understand.
Madam,
You being a student, then you understand.
first.
You're on the right track, but it's fine. I will tell you 4 things. Sit down here. Good. You don't want bookish knowledge. Everything is there in the books. Yeah. Why? Why do you need practical knowledge? You are on the answer. Yes.
So because while we are doing practically, we understand more better way than doing it in a like studying it from a book.
All right. Fantastic. Yes.
I think teaching is more of a profession where human interaction and development of students depends a lot on us. Their future depends a lot on us. So this international conference more or less is going to develop us towards that human interaction.
Okay. This is the international conference. How the education of the purpose we are here. You are students and you will be teachers. Consider you are students now, but you are actually teachers, right? What you want to do. What is expected out of education? To come back, what is that we need? Don't you think if I collect all the ingredients, that we have to prepare the students to face real life problems. You're preparing you to go out in the real world and become teachers and teach students. Isn't it? You have to be in the real world. Here it is simulation. The simulated experimental world. You actually have to go out and teach. And teach for what? To create the students who are sitting in front of you for their professional careers, whatever they have chosen. And each one will not choose the same profession. So imagine you are addressing those, the diverse fields and diversity, that one becomes engineer, other becomes teacher, scientist, all are there in front of you in the class. And you as a one teacher, you may be from some different subject. A set of students who are going to decide their professional career, and you have to be encouraging that. You being a math teacher, but you are encouraging the child to get into space. The second point, first is to be the real world. Second is to actually prepare them for their professional careers. And why all this we do? The third point is, remember one thing, which is we forget. The main objective of education is that are we creating those students who are ready for national development? And you will be ready for national development to solve the national level problems or global issues when you have that knowledge. What do we need today? This is one answer. Other is, if you're not emotionally mature, if you are not environmentally sensitive, if you do not have attributes of being a spiritual person, spiritually doesn't connect to religion, it's about evolving yourself. If all these ingredients you put together, then you are setting an education system right, because whichever profession you do, it doesn't go in vain. You will become obsolete. It has to go with one goal, one focus, that is national development, to your heart. How my work is transforming. When you are clear as teachers, then you'll be able to be the best teachers. And then you can create center of excellence. Otherwise, there's no meaning. So this is what is all about. So this is just prelude. Quickly, I'll come to the topic. Not that I'm going to take much time, because you start seeing watches and then say, enough, today's teaching is over. I'm delighted to be part of this wonderful conference, and if I could contribute some, to this particular envisioned thought of creating centers of excellence, I would say creating centers of creativity, because that changes you. And this comes through the commitment of each one of us to understand why are we here. Because this whole conference is like crucible of innovation, experimentation, our knowledge, your knowledge, but how you amalgamate such a way that something which comes out in the form of research papers, in the form of dialogue, which will be taken forward. If I talk about the science, is not that arts, commerce, science, humanities you start talking about as the field. It is the function of life. This whole universe works with one element, that is science. And this is where we have to understand how we can improve that element in our education system, especially in India, because we are dealing with large number of teachers and large number of students. So what mechanism will suit? So when you talk a mechanism, a process, these terms comes under science. Science is not a separate field. You think I'm not interested in science. What you do, what you talk is a science. Do you agree with me? The way we are talking, when we are thinking, we are breathing, all is science. So science is not a field, science is a way of living. So at present times, education and science and technology stand in the first place among any factor if you talk about, when you talk about developing nation or developed nation. The first thing which comes is science and technology. Today, can you exist without technology? And have you ever imagined that we will be so much, I wouldn't say slave, not right word, but so much our existence will be dependent on technology that we can't exist without it. 1 minute your mobile is there and then you were so shocked when I lost my mobile. So imagine, and we never had this when we were in our times, and we are now so dependent. So remember one thing, why this particular technology has evolved so far is because of research. And Dr. Bellani sir said that research is what we are going to discuss, but remember that core has to be a scientific approach or mechanism. Without that, research, even you do in humanities or education or anywhere, if you do not understand the methodology, how you want to use what pedagogical tools you will use, that's science. And that is where you will be able to take forward. And what you do today, tomorrow will be redundant. Remember that. You have to be fast. Knowledge is increasing on a faster pace. Innovations have permeated in the system such a way that you do not even know. I'll take an example. Last year, I was on the stage of KC Auditorium and I was addressing IT students. And I told them, coding is what is going to make you the master. Okay, coding, gaming, coding, all is important. And without coding, I mean, if you do not know, you would get obsolete. This whole knowledge will get obsolete. Today I say no. No, not coding. Is all about machine learning than AI. AI is the machine learning which becomes artificial intelligence. AI is not the core. Machine learning, the programming, and there coding, you are creating a program. Now today we say because of machine learning we don't need program. We don't require coding. Human doesn't need to do program. The machine will do programming. We have to only intervene our human thought process. So the whole thing is changed in 1 year. My speech is redundant last year. Today's speech is different. Tomorrow I'll say something else. Are you with me on this?
Yes.
This is the space that technology is moving. And as a teacher, can you say I do research, but I don't know how to integrate technology. And technology doesn't mean computer. Doesn't mean computer applications. There are softwares, plagiarism check. It's a technology. Because you have to understand how when you write something, there has to be plagiarism check on it. Whatever you do, resources, going online, using internet. When you use internet, it means you are using technology. Can you survive without that? So you are technologists. You are technocrats. And Abdul Kalam ji, if I refer him, he was the mastermind behind the missile man, right? He said defense has to be strong and strength only can stand strength. And this statement, whether it's defense or education, I would say strength stands for strength. Your knowledge will stand for knowledge. Yourself as human being will versus human being. Technology is only a tool. So take that as a tool and go forward. Whatever you do, there will be talk about research, there will be talk about how you require wholesome, holistic approach, mental well-being, this, that. But remember one thing, all these attributes you can evolve. You don't have to be dependent on other people, counselors. You as teacher, remember you have to be complete. You are wholesome whole. You have to be counselors. You have to be teachers. But this journey will be successful, when? One thing I will tell you, just one line then. It is about upskilling. Very good words, reskilling, another good term. New terms is coming each way. But if you have read a topic 10 years back and you are reading from the same book, somebody said, no, you don't want bookish knowledge. What you like in a teacher who teaches you? Which teacher you like and why do you like? Which lectures you enjoy? Imbibe those and imitate those and evolve faster. Why it is that you like particular lecture? Why you listen and be attentive to a particular person? What is that? Imbibe those in you. You'll be a fantastic teacher. Once you are updated and I wouldn't say upskilling, updated with the knowledge. This change happens expect. Upskill yourself, learn, don't be obsolete. Your research is continuous a way of life and breathe research. You're looking at something, I don't recollect who said this is anonymous. It's not about the something or pass on knowledge. You just show them the way. You show them the place and they should look on their own. You just show the way. Let them look. Each individual will perceive every object differently. The teacher has to show the way and let the students see what they want to see. So this is what I have a lot to say, but I don't want. I always say this. I will stand by, Brother Luis. If you do not come, I'll extend. But I wish you had come. So till you come, after I'll prepare and engage them with the keynote speaker. But I would want you must hear Raja Luis that he has come. I have a lot to share. But lastly, I will talk about one statement which I want to leave you. It is Chakravarti Radhagopalachari. You know who is he? Teachers should know. He was the last Government General of India, 1950. And he says the purpose of education is to make good human beings with skill and expertise. Enlightened human beings can be created only by teachers. So for that you have to evolve, be enlightened citizens. Only then you create those students. So I wish you all the best. I have a lot to share, but some other time I can go on for hours together. My teachers know, but it is that you need to hear other people, and it was joy being here. Such a receptive audience. Love you all, and we'll keep curating more programs for you, and we shall see to it that how do we help this center to become excellent, and you being the excellent teachers that Bttc has produced. Thank you everyone. God bless you. Jai Hind.
Thank you, ma'am, for this engaging address. We're truly grateful for it. I would now like to introduce our guest, Dr. Raja Louis. Sir is the Vice Chancellor of Maharishi University of Latin America and the Caribbean. During the last 40 years, Sir has been leading programs in 57 countries in Latin America, Africa, under the Maharshi Development Programs. He has also directed research and development programs in universities in Spain, Brazil, and India. Co-organizer of the Horbis Claire Colombia with Father Gabriel Mejia, supporting 110,000 underprivileged children in Latin America. Sir, I would now like to call you for your address.
Namaste. Salam to everyone, and thank you, Vice Chancellor Magda, Dr. Balani. You have made it very difficult for me to say a lot. And I thought prepared something,
थोड़ा सा
but
वॉइस बढ़ाओ.
when I saw the way you spoke to your, when I saw the way you spoke, I thought more to give a reflection together, make you think of something you never thought before. Is that all right? And then give you some information, or make you see things in education, because we are educators. Who educates the educators? Who is the educator of the educators? The training colleges. Here is where the spirit of education becomes full. What is the word education? Do you know what means education in Latin, in Sanskrit, in Arabic? Do you know? In all those languages is common one thing, is not information. None of the definitions of education is receive information. But that's what we do, that's what we call education. But none of them says that. They all say that inside you, you have all the knowledge you need, and you have to connect with it and bring it out. Whether you say it in Sanskrit, where you say siksha, which means bring from there what is hidden from you, make it happen. That's siksha. Or educere in Latin, extract from within. So education is not to give information. Now, if education is not to give information, what is education? It's very simple. And I'll not talk a lot, but I just wanted to give you a few ideas, and then they wanted me to talk of an experience. Well, I'll do that, but I thought I could not resist if I bring you some new concept. Look, one thing. Education is the process of know how to give life to life. How we do that? We know in any moment, like now we are together, and I'm looking to you, you're looking to me. What is happening here is that you are looking something. You are knowing something. Yes? And I'm knowing you. Yes? There are three things involved in this moment. Who knows, who is known, and what is known. Yes? Subject, object, and knowledge. If that is true, and that has been forever truth, whether we go to the Quran, whether we go to the Vedas, they say Rishi Devata Chandas, means knower, knowledge, known. Whatever way you say it, whatever way, education has only based in one thing until now, object. We know about something, but who we are, we don't know. Who are you? No. I know physics, yes. I know chemistry, yes. I know mathematics, yes. And I know how to teach that, yes. Maybe if I am a good teacher, I know how to teach that. But that is just 1/3 of what education is. What about the knowledge of the knower? What about the content? What about the brain? What about the teacher? What about education from within? In the Vedas there is one expression, know that by knowing which everything will be known. Know that, but knowing which everything will be known. There is something in us, universal, not only for India or from Arabia, could be from Latin America. There is something universal in being a human being that has already that knowledge available and is much better than internet, has more knowledge than the technology and is available to every human being. If that's yes, might be interesting to tackle it. And must be that as a teacher, I need to know that so I can be better and I can transform myself. And that is what I wanted to talk to you about. I'm also a teacher. I studied teaching in Barcelona in Spain. And I asked the teachers, do we answer in the schools the questions of our students about, okay, the technical abilities we are giving, but what we answer when they say how to be happy? What we answer when we say, are we giving the tools for a better life? How I do with to have a better relation? I'm a PhD in physics and I don't know how to talk to my wife. Are we knowing how to live because we have information? Or that is not enough for our transforming ourselves? And if so, can we do something about it? So the purpose of knowing from the subject brings education to a new level, which is the education of the knower. And the education of the knower is the experience that inside us we have all the knowledge we want to know about anything. And we can unfold it and connect it with every of the subjects that we study in a way that we grow more in the knowledge than in the ignorance about it. You know, with this experience, when you study something, any subject, you know something, you know that you know much less about it, that there is much more that you don't know about it. Anything you study, oh, I know about it, but I know now there is much more that I ignore about it, the more I know about it. We need to use the 100% of our brain to know fully and 100% of our heart, so we can give that to our students. And we can give them not only information, we can give them a key to create a condition for them to transform themselves. In reality, as they say, you cannot teach anything to anyone. You can only create a condition that the person discovers by itself. And that is what the practice, what I have been working in meditation does. That is what meditation is. Many people have different ideas about meditation. In Latin, again in Latin, meditare means not to think of something, not to reflect, not to concentrate, not to think about it. That's what we think it is, but that's not what it is. What it is the state where the mind is free from everything and is free to have 100% of the brain available as a state of learning. And from that state, you can know everything in your full potential. And that is what is missing in our classes. What is missing is, I want to use 100% of my brain to be able to give 100% of it. So that's, I wanted to leave that reflection with you. When I studied in Barcelona and I told the teachers this, they said, we don't have an answer for you. Then I studied and I went to India and I went to Latin America and I went to many places, and I discovered that everywhere in the world, education has the same situation. That all of us have great capacities, great knowledge, great tools, great technologies, great wishes, that to be an educator is probably one of the most that is given life and the way to have a better life becomes the most stressful. Why in India we have the highest rate of suicide in students and teachers in many countries around the world? Have you thought of it? Because the process of learning and the process of teaching, they need to be unfolded in a way that we develop the full human potential. And give the brain of every teacher and every student the ability to enjoy education, to be happy learning and to be given, and don't get tired, don't get stressed, don't get unhappy with all the situations, but other way, to become a real expression of giving the very best of life, which is educate. And I was going to make a whole presentation of the scientific information about meditation and what are the researchers and all that, but I know the other speakers and the time is short. But what I wanted to tell you is what you have heard of meditation until now and what I wanted to teach to you is not the same. Any person can experience inside that state of knowledge and can access to it, and then take that to their specific activities and start to correlate and connect knowledge like never before. Our brain has millions and billions of neurons that can be connected and can give us knowledge in a beautiful way. And that is why it's so important for all of us to tell you, please take some time to consider the research of meditation and how to do it in a very simple way, because you will discover that is the best friend of the educator. Is the best friend. Means you find there all the energy, all the capacity, and all the ability to give more, to enjoy more, and to discover one beautiful thing, that education can give the fullness of life if you are able to have the fullness within yourself. Can I have more time, or that's enough time?
Up to you, absolutely.
It's because I wanted to hear from you what you think.
Yes, more experience.
Tell any questions or comments or criticism to what I'm saying? Anyone wants to say something? I had prepared a whole PowerPoint, but when I saw our Vice Chancellor Bagler speaking, I forgot. Oh, no, let's not be academic. Let's not be academic today. Tell me what you feel, what I'm telling you, what brings into your mind. Anyone wants to say something? Or is too much information?
You like to experience what is doing themselves, how they can transform themselves so that they can transform others. How then you transform themselves. I also feel that it's extremely important that teachers primarily remain centered, and one of the easiest ways to do it is through a regular meditative practice and allotting a certain time in the day which is sacred for it, and then you just find that things work out. You're able to manage your emotions, your health, your mental clarity, everything comes with the 15 to 20 minutes of it. That's an experience.
Okay.
Sir, what you had to say was very similar to a talk we attended by Tony Nader on transcendental
Oh, yeah,
meditation.
of course. Yeah, obviously, because I am.
Yes. So that was also a wonderful talk, and he spoke along the same lines of what you said. So we could relate to what you were saying.
I forgot you already had the experience with him. Yes, you're right. You're very right. Dr. Tony Nether, when he spoke to you about consciousness and the role of consciousness in the education, was trying to bring these ideas that we need to include consciousness in the field of education as the knower of education. And we do that by knowing from within, and for that is that we meditate. We take some time, rather than focusing in objects or focusing in studying, to experience our own being, that inside us there is an inner treasure, and when we access this inner treasure, then after, every aspect of life can be better coordinated. That is what we need to do for our educators, because they take so much stress. And 10 minutes of meditation, this transcendental meditation, equals to 3 hours of sleep in the night. That means what you recover in 3 hours of sleep in the night, you have in 10 minutes. That means not that you have to sleep less, no. I'm saying that you can better emotions and less stress, because 80% of the diseases now of our teachers in Mumbai, they are due to stress already. Not only infections, 20% are infections and other things. 80% is already stress-related symptoms. And diseases that comes that we take more than we are able to absorb, and then become psychosomatic, and we get sick. We don't want teachers sick. We want teachers happy, that can give happy to others, and that can transform the life of people. And for that, we want you to become very experts in meditation. But you don't have to do it. You will not have to learn anything, no study. You don't have to memorize. You don't have to know anything. A child of 4 years can meditate as better as one of 100. Because the type of meditation I'm talking is a habit of the body. It's not an intellectual activity. You see, every day you experience 3 states. Every day. Now you're awake. Yes? Supposed to be. Okay, we are awake. And then when we are awake, the brain functions in certain pattern, and the breathing in certain pattern. When we go to sleep, it changes. When we go to dream, again changes. When we meditate, again changes. It's a 4th mode of functioning of the nervous system. So the meditation that I want to explain to you, it's more a mechanic process of our brain and our nervous system, not religious, not philosophical, not contemplation, not prayer. No, that's something else. That's not what we are talking about here. We are talking that you can experience quietly yourself, and when you experience yourself, you become rejuvenated, and when you become rejuvenated, you become in contact with your knowing. And then when you become, we want to have with your university a program that, okay, all of you can learn this, but some of you that like more and they want to advance more can develop knowledge from within. We can give them questions, and instead of finding it in the internet, they find it inside. And they'll see that so much knowledge is inside every person, and so much intelligence is available that we will remember that India has all the knowledge that needs to make our teachers happy. And if we make our teachers happy, our students are going to be more happy. That is what I wanted to say. And we are hoping in the next days or weeks that we can do a little training. It takes 3-4 days, 1 hour together, and then we have the experience. And then we want to train you as teachers also. So you can not only, when your students becomes too naughty, you teach them to meditate and you manage them peacefully in their classes. We want to make all of you teachers of meditation, so you are able to have peaceful classrooms with happy teachers, with happy students. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir, for your illuminating words. We are truly grateful for your time. I would now like to introduce you all, our Chief SC Practice and Youth Specialist with the University of Botswana, He has a PhD in social work, specializing in youth development. His interest in youth development ranges from youth entrepreneurship, positive youth development, and youth resilience. Sir has been with the University of Botswana for many years, where he has taught and supervised students and published more than 8 articles and 1 academic book and 2 motivational books. Dr. Youngman has been active in the profession of social work as the president of Botswana National Association of Social Workers for 4 years, and he has been the Human Rights Commissioner for International Federation of Social Workers. His teaching and research areas are youth and community practice, community development, social protection, and social policy. We welcome you to the conference, sir.
Sorry, I had to stop this, sir, for 2 minutes, because our Honorable Vice Chancellor will be leaving within some time. So we request that the compilation of 76 papers, which is to be released today, I request all the dignitaries, please come on the platform. And in the presence of all our online participants, sir, please come here. Sir, can you please come in? So once again, it's our privilege to convey our thanks to the participants and to the paper presenters. 76 papers are compiled in this book, 76 papers at national and international level. Thank you. I request all the 90 committee please come for the picture. I request Dr. Priya, Dr. Neelu, Dr. Manisha, Dr. Rajiv, please come for the release of the book. Thank you so much, ma'am. We value your precious time, and it is really valuable for us also, and for your words, your energy. It is highly contagious, and thank you so much for being over here with us. Thank you to both the Vice Chancellors, and keep blessing us with your presence.
वीडियो फोटो दोनों
Thank you so much. I apologize that I had to take these precious moments out of this proceedings. Over to the speaker. Thank you.
प्रोजेक्ट अभी टेढ़ा है तो करने का
I request everybody to please settle down. We'll begin with Dr. Youngman's address. Sir, if you can hear us, we can see your screen, and it's over to you for your presentation. So you're muted, you'll have to unmute yourself. Thank
I hope you can hear it.
Yes, loud and clear.
Okay. Thank you very much for the opportunity. I may miss the presentation because I had thought your 10 is our 10, only to realize that we are 3 hours behind you. So I had to wake up and come to the study to be with you. But it gives me pleasure to be invited as a speaker at this conference, especially considering that we are celebrating Social Workers Month. And as social workers, we believe that the work that we do is the work that most of the time is not recognized. And to be invited to be talking to educators gives me pleasure because as a social work educator, I also have the opportunity to teach, and I know the loads that we are going through. So my presentation derived from the general theme will be centered around creating a supportive learning environment for educators. This is one thing that I believe if we want to get best results, we need to keep educators motivated. So hence I decided that today we talk about a supportive environment, because the supportive environment will create a place or an environment where trust and respect are upheld, where inclusivity and diversity becomes the part of the agenda. So this is what I'm looking at today. Why is it important to have a supportive learning environment? The most important thing that we need to motivate them, and it will enhance activeness in the classroom. And when appreciated in their endeavors, they will put more effort because they feel they are part of the ecosystem. If they don't feel appreciated or undervalued, they don't feel they are part of the ecosystem. So if we support them, if we create an environment that is conducive for them to feel that they are part and parcel of the ecosystem, then we are going to see high motivated educators. And this will ultimately impact on the law of the ecosystem, which is the students. And we also need to be a supportive and inclusive work culture that recognizes their contribution, that provides professional development opportunities, that provides work-life balance, and cultivate a sense of belonging and purpose within the school community. And this will help us to prioritize positive work culture and can empower educators to excel in their roles and ultimately benefit the entire education. So it is important that we create a supportive learning environment, not only for students, but for educators. Because when the educators are happy, the students are going to be happy. And what exactly do we mean by supportive learning environment? We need to create an environment where trust is the pinnacle of everything that we are doing. We do environment where we are not trusting each other, where we know we can be backstabbed anytime. So we need to create an environment that trust is the pinnacle of everything, where respect for human dignity is everything. We need to understand that as human beings, we share the same humanity. And the moment you don't respect the other person, you are not respecting yourself. So that is self-hate. So we need to eradicate self-hate within the education ecosystem. And when we have eradicated the self-hate system, we are creating an environment that will have teamwork, that will be inclusive, that will share the same goals. And if all these characters are put into place, they are going to contribute to a positive work culture. So this is how we create a supportive learning environment for educators. Because educators feel that they are not appreciated. And when they feel they are not appreciated, they feel devalued. When they feel devalued, they don't trust the system. And when they don't trust the system, then there is bickering. And when there is bickering, lack of respect, lack of teamwork, and then we exclude each other, we isolate each other because we all want to be. So it is now each man for himself. And when each person for themselves, the system will crack and crumble. So all these characteristics, they contribute to a positive work environment. If we take them one by one, and we talk about trust and respect, when we build trust and respect among educators, we are creating a positive and supportive work environment. And we can open communication where we encourage transparent communication among educators, fostering an environment where ideas and concerns can be shared freely without fear, where we promote collaboration, where we promote recognition of expertise, where we acknowledge and build expertise of each educator, providing them with opportunities to showcase their skills and knowledge. Because sometimes when there is no trust, when there is no respect, people will to pull back and not come forth the system to improve. They are afraid that they are going to be judged, so they don't want to be seen. So if we recognize and appreciate what people are doing, we are giving them the leverage to be able to talk, to be able to it's where we cultivate leadership that is supportive, empathetic, and committed to fostering. Some time back, I did a research on the factors that influence job satisfaction among social workers in Botswana. And I was paying no money. But to my surprise, majority of them talked about supportive supervision. They said, we are burning out because we don't have supportive supervision. You don't know who to go to when you are stuck with a case. You don't know who to go to when you have issues, personal issues, because we don't trust these people. And I was shocked. So I realized that if we don't create supportive supervision, supportive leadership, we are going to have people who don't know where to go. So we need to create an environment where educators can trust us, can respect us, and can be able to know that they can come to us for anything that they would like to share. So that is how we create trust and respect through supportive leadership and personal development. You know, people would like to be provided with opportunities to develop themselves. If we are not providing opportunities for development, people are going to be stuck. We encourage personal development here, but also we need to have opportunities where people can be appreciated by being sent to do something outside their environment. So that is one of the issues that we need to look at. And teamwork and collaboration, it is important to also do teamwork and collaboration. How do we do it? We need educators. We need to help each other to plan. We need to develop the curriculum together. We also need to do what is happening and also come together with proper curriculum that deals with concerning issues, not only to do what is in the science. We should also promote co-teaching where we teach subjects together. That is very important because we can help each other. And also peer observation, where we can give each other feedback after presentations or after teaching. Collaborative projects, it is important to collaborate. And the last point that I would like us to look at is inclusivity and diversity. It is important to foster inclusion and embrace diversity amongst educators. We need to know that we are different and we need to accept each other's differences. We are not supposed to judge each other. We are supposed to appreciate the difference and know that diversity makes us work better. There are diverse perspectives and experiences achieve rich, inclusive learning environment. And I would like, because I have a few minutes, so I don't know how much time I took, but I would like to conclude by saying, from what I've been saying today, what have you picked? What is your take home? Because sometimes we come to these conferences and we go back home without even reflecting on what was said. From what has been said this morning, what have you picked? And what is your take home? What do you want to learn from it, and what are your actions? What exactly are you going to implement from what has been said? How are we going to support each other? How are we going to create an environment where we give each other the opportunity to grow, to work and collaborate? How are we going to write papers together? Are we going to expect or let everybody become who they are, to be able to be inclusive? So those are my last words, and I hope my time was, I've worked on my time, and I believe I've left you with something Kalavoka. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for joining us all the way from Botswana. We really are grateful for your contribution to our conference. Any comments? Yes.
So we really personally I really liked what you spoke about, especially the respect part of it, because today, especially as teachers, we need to realize that only after we understand about the concept of respect and humanity can we teach our children, the students that we will be bringing forth, because they are the future that is dependent on us. So that is one concept, and the second concept of a technical concept of peer assessment and supervisor assessment is also equally necessary. Also, the inclusivity part of it, we really need to understand this as teachers, because if we start having biases and forget about inclusivity and diversity, then the aim of having an equal society and giving equal opportunities cannot be attained. So these are the 3 points that I really loved. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Diksha. Thank you, sir. We will now delve into 2 panel discussions featuring esteemed experts and practitioners from various disciplines within the field of education. These interactive sessions will provide a platform for thought-provoking dialogue, exchange of ideas, and collaborative problem solving. For panel 1, which will focus on excellence in school education, we have 3 distinguished panelists, with Dr. Kumi Vivena as the moderator. Allow me to take a moment to introduce and welcome Dr. Kumi Vivena. In 2022, Dr. Vivena was appointed as Professor Emeritus by Christ University in Pune, as Professor and Head of Department of English, University of Mumbai. Dr. Vivena has 2 PhDs, one in literature and one in education, and has published various books, journals, various articles in international and national journals. And we all know her personally since she has been doing the wonderful course with us. So I would like to request Benisha and Nikita to introduce our two panelists.
Mrs. Devika Chatterjee. Mrs. Devika Chatterjee has managed various portfolios during her journey as an educationist with many decades of experience in India and abroad. She currently helps the Borivali branch of JBCN International School as Director Principal and has been proactive in implementing and channelizing long-term visions for the school. Mrs. Devika Chatterjee is a highly effective and proactive leader. She has been a speaker and panelist at various national and international conferences. She has been a part of programs at Harvard School of Education and IIM Kolkata and is a stalwart in the field of education. She is the recipient of the Iconic Leadership Award, which was presented by the Honorable the Education Excellence Award from Mr. Ramesh Bais, the Honorable Governor of Maharashtra, and Mr. Deepak Kesarkar. Education Minister of Maharashtra has also given her the Skill Bharat Samman Award 2023, Vocational Excellence Award, Ethical Educational Leadership Award, Progressive Principal of the Year Award, Community Leader Award, Inspiring Educator Citizen Award, Best Principal Performance Award, and Shiksha Gaurav Puraskar, which has been recognized as a beacon of excellence in education. We welcome you, ma'am, to the conference. Is Dr. Meeta Seta. Dr. Meeta is the principal of Paduk Kala College of Commerce and Management and Chief Administrative Officer at Paduk Polytechnic Trust. Under her leadership, the college has secured B++ and A+ NAC accreditation. As a visiting faculty in Mumbai, she co-authored academic books and serves as a resource person at various institutes. Her scholarly contributions include publishing in UGC CARE-listed journals and guiding doctoral students at the University of Mumbai. As a certified, conducts programs in corporates and academia. Her commitment to inclusivity is reflected in her first Train the Teacher certification from SHRM, HRCI, CPD, and ProTouch. With a wealth of experiences, she is a driving force.
Hello, my child.
very good morning to everyone.
Good morning.
It's still morning. Yeah. So, good morning and thank you all. This is extremely interesting. We are very honored to be a part of the international seminar, and I have two wonderful principals with me. I think hardly a week goes by when I don't talk to them. Is that right? So we're constantly in discussion, constantly trying to do things for the student community, the parents and society at large. So without much ado, since we are running late, let's just start the questions. Please give us a brief idea about your respective institutions. What is your vision? What is the mission of yours? This is mainly in relation to how the schools are interpreting and implementing some of the suggestions of NEP. So either of you could start.
I'm, as she introduced, I'm Dr. Bttc and I'm representing Pathak Polytechnic Trust, where we have several schools and junior college and degree college under the trust. And we are essentially having the philosophy of catering to the section of students that belong to the underprivileged part of the society. That has been the philosophy of our founder since 1932, Mr. Uttam Pathak. He is the one who said that at that point in time it was felt that the vocational education is a lot that needs to be really taken up by the youngsters then. So in fact then he started the residential schooling then in 1932, and today we have our chairman Mr. Adil Pathak, who carries on the legacy, and we like administrators and supervisors have the responsibility to see that there is a complete delight to the stakeholders. Coming to the point, Kumi ma'am, that you mentioned about the vision and mission. So, delight to the stakeholders is one of the striking mission. We have some neat 9 points of our trust, and as I said, we just not want to see that the students who come to our campus are happy with the facility, with the teaching that we are providing, but also every single association with the student, that is parents, that is teachers, the internal stakeholders as well, any visitors. We ensure, Kumi ma'am is a witness to all of this, we ensure that all of them are happy and they believe that the delivery that we give to them is definitely a carrying. So before I would want to focus on the vision of our institute. In fact, I was very delighted to see a couple of words of our today's international conference meets so much with the vision that our institution has. The vision that we have is to innovate, to enhance, to excel and empower in education. So that is what exactly we do. And we do not believe in just, I think all of us are aware we have those, and we are so much reinforced with all those thoughts at different layers in our institution. We actually ensure that there is innovation. During the process of our conversation, I will delve deeper into all these points. So coming to the crux of it is that the vision and giving a conducive environment from our online speaker. The conducive learning environment, not just to our students, but also to our teachers. So it's a combination of so many other things that we do as a part of imparting our vision to all the stakeholders.
If I could just add one thing before we pass on the mic to you, metaphorically, since you already have it. But I have been associated with Pathak Institute, and it is not easy to teach, but what so that's something I wanted to add. Yes, Ms. Chatterjee.
Hi, good morning everyone. Good morning.
I'm really touched that she's here because she's running high fever and a cold, but she did not want to ditch us, so she made it all the way from Hawaii. Thank you very much. Thank you.
I was excited to meet all the bright young teachers who are getting ready to come into our schools to talk about who we are. I represent the JBCN group of schools. I am the director principal. We are a very young school, unlike yours. We have been around only for 13 and a half years, and 13 is not an unlucky number for us. We have had some wonderful things in our school this year too. We have 5 schools, and I head the Borivali branch, that is the oldest. We have about 2,000 learners and more than 230 staff members. We follow the IGCSE and the Cambridge curriculum. So we are an international school, which is on the other side of the spectrum. As far as our vision and mission is concerned now, you know, we have some bright teachers and wonderful educators in our school. So our vision and mission have all the best possible words in the vision. If you can come up with some word that should definitely be there in the vision of a school, can you think of something that should be there in the vision statement of a school? So we have it.
Empower.
Empower, yes, we want to empower us. So it's there in the vision and mission. Any other word that you think? Innovation, creativity, enhancement, anything else?
Humanity.
Humanity, global perspective, global citizenship.
Contextualization.
Contextualization, unfortunately, is not a part of our vision. That is one word which we don't have in our vision.
You can add it.
We can add it perhaps, but that is the one that we don't have. So the vision of the school is everything that we want in our schools and our students. On top of the vision and mission of the school, we also have a list of 10 attributes. Those are the ones that I love very much. So we have these attributes, and I don't want to tell you about all 10, but there is something that we have in that which is about being equanimous. That is the one I love. Because if we have equanimity in our system, among teachers, among learners, then we have a good school. We have something called open-mindedness. If we are ready to accept everybody, if we are a family that talks about, and in JBCN we call ourselves the JBCN family, it's not just because we want to use a word that will probably resonate with everybody, it's because we want to live like a family. And it's not just a family, I like to call it the JBCN joint family. And there's a reason behind it. I grew up in a joint family, and I find that it is better. Because then we understand perspectives. Then we understand that one cousin is good at something and the other one is good at something else, and we are still the same, we live in that same family. We understand that one of our uncles is perhaps not really the most understanding person. We still need to respect him. There is perhaps an aunt we don't like as much as the other, but our mother is always looking that there is no change in the respect that we offer to each person in our family, and understand about equanimity, which is very different from equality, equity, which is very, very different from giving everybody the same platform, and we understand all those perspectives within the joint family, and that is who we are, JBCN. There are 3 fundamentals of Indian philosophy. And the Indian ethos is represented by 3 things. One is called, it's got nothing to do with religion. It's more about fundamentally who we are as Indians. So one is satsang. We want always to ensure that the companionship that you seek is the one that will help you to grow and be a better version of yourself. That is something that I believe in personally. There is another one which is called sadhana, putting your best effort in the pursuit of knowledge so that you become knowledgeable. However, more than satsang and sadhana, the big one is seva. I find that if you indulge in the concept of service, then you automatically ensure that you are yourself, you're working on yourself and you become a better individual, whether a learner or a teacher. So in our school song, more than the vision and the mission, in our school song, we have this line and I think we live by that. It is, I just tell you that what it is. It says, we'll try to make the world a better place with active kindness and with grace. So that's who we are, the JVC and
And this is what I have personally witnessed in my interaction over 10 years, or 8 years, around 8 to 10 years. Extremely open, very caring, constantly considering the student's perspective, the teacher's perspective, and juggling all of them beautifully. So my reason of bringing these two wonderful ladies to the platform today is because, as Devika ma'am said, they represent two ends of the spectrum. The students who go in for international education and students who are first generation learners. So I thought they would be able to bring much to the table. Now, getting to NEP, how is it that you personalize education and at the same time you ensure that critical skills and creativity are something you promote?
So, calling it as NEP, yes, we can now call it as a structured way of delivering of what we would do. Talking of critical skills and creativity, critical thinking and creativity is something not just that we will do because of NEP, but we've been doing that all along, but it's just that we do not term it in a structured way that we would term it. So it would, I still wouldn't say that it was ad hoc, it was still structured, but probably now it is labeled. So at our institute, as I said, I'm looking into all the sections right from pre-primary till degree. So all these aspects that we would want to throw light on with respect to creativity, personalized learning and critical thinking skills, we do it in different ways to different sections. Say for example, I want to take up personalized learning first. I think all of us understand that. So all of us understand that when we take up personalized learning, everybody in the room, everybody in the classroom will not be having the same levels of learning. There will definitely be, as a teacher, I'm sure you understand that it's very challenging for us that there are some students who are fast learners and some are slow learners. So what is it that we really do with it? In fact, I would just like to quote one incident here. I just, my position as a CEO is just 2 years old. Before that, I was a principal of the college. So for me to delve into the tiny toddlers also, how are they really going to learn? So I got to one of my supervisors. Man, this student, we've worked so hard on this student, he's still not able to write those exams, those typical exams, though we say that there are no exams, but we still in our own way conduct some kind of summative assessment. He is not able to write. We were in the month of April. What to do? But then as per the government, we're supposed to promote children. I said, look, let's do one thing. Let this not be really considered like an exam. We call the parent, we tell the parent that, in fact, in this particular case, the parent are their native. And the parent's mother's sister is looking after that child. And that sister is how young? She's younger than you in SY BCom. And believe me, she is shouldering the responsibility of that child. And when she came, I was shocked. I said, you are taking it? Yes, ma'am. Don't worry. And believe me, I still get goosebumps. She was so confident that I am going to ensure that the paper that you're going to give to the child, because I gave her an option. What you do is in the month of June you come back, in the beginning of June, April, May, June. You come back, please train your nephew and see to it that in the June, और आप वो child के साथ बैठो paper लिखने के लिए, because children, parents generally feel, अरे वो हमारे घर पे सब लिखता है, but in a child that like we know that all of them are not same, but we having known that, what is it that we are doing to cater to their needs? It's not just about what we really put on presentations, but are we really practicing it? How are we practicing? So this is one of the thing, and where critical thinking goes, every month we have we call it as month-end sessions. Now this is not just for pre-primary, we do this for all the sections till the school, that is the secondary school, where we encourage them to take up certain concepts. And this particular academic year, what we did was we took up the concepts of SDG, Sustainable Development Goals. So everybody, right from pre-primary till secondary school, they, in fact, SDG was there till junior college, that is till 12th class. On the basis of my subject, what is it that, what is the SDG that I'm going to correlate to? The students will think about it, the teachers will mentor them, and they will come up with different ideas. When I say ideas, whether it's going to be a street play, whether it's going to be a poster, all this was done by them. And I would just want to tell you, just last week on Friday, we had an exhibition from secondary section where they displayed all these posters and gave a presentation of street play on these SDGs. This was purely by the students mentored by our teachers. So these are the few things that.
And as you see, this combines critical as well as creative thinking. And it can be done in a myriad ways, which you should do.
Yeah, about differentiation, I think you can have day-long workshops on what to do in schools as far as differentiation is concerned. Just a couple of stories from our classrooms. Grade 4, social studies. So I walk into the classroom sometimes and I have the best experiences in school. Grade 4, the teacher was talking to them about Akbar the Great. They had obviously discussed Akbar the Great and they had a mind map of the board, and the children probably knew this is grade 4, and I was quite amazed that these were smallies in primary. The question that the teacher asked them is, why do you think Akbar was a great king? So there was no list. They were not supposed to list down the great contributions of Akbar or why he was called the great and all that. Each child had a notebook. They had the mind map in front of them. And the question that the teacher asked was, why do you think Akbar was a great king? Each child had a different answer. So the ones that I peeped into, the child was writing, I think Akbar was a great king because he respected all religions and he was very secular. And the other child had written, I think Akbar was a, and this child probably had some challenges as far as his language skills were concerned. But he had written, I think Akbar was a great king because he dressed up like a common man to ask them questions. There was no problem with understanding about greatness. He knew what greatness meant and he had to figure out what exactly greatness could look like. But they each had a different view about greatness, which was their own. So someone valued the common man and some other child in the same classroom valued secularism. In nursery, this will be amazing for you. I had to tell you about what a teacher was doing in nursery. They had a regular sheet of A4 sheet where there was an apple, there was a box of color pencils, apples were kept on the table, and the children had to get up to the table and pick up the sheet which had that apple drawing, and they had to pick up a color of their choice. Some chose red, everybody did not. Some chose green because they like green apples better. Some chose yellow and red because they knew that some apples are not red. There can be yellow apples also, or there can be apples with a little bit of color in nursery. These are 3-year-olds. This was towards the second half of nursery, so they were already a little older than the first set learners. They picked up that and they went and colored. Now the teacher did something else which was amazing. She had 3 baskets. She colored the apple in the color of her choice and she chose green. And she had a green apple which was colored all outside the boundaries. She had an apple. We put a thumbtack on the board and she had these baskets under these 3 apples. She told children, bring your paper. Look at the apples on the board and you can put your apple in the basket that you think it fits into. The teacher was actually teaching them what assessment should be. It need not be formative or summative or any other tip. It needs to be something that the learner gets ready for. I know what my work looks like and I put it in that basket. There was another thing that happened in the classroom after that. It was an amazing teacher and amazing classroom. It doesn't happen with all teachers all the time. But then she said, okay, now you chose this basket. Would you like another paper? Would you like to put your apple in another basket? That was the next step. I might be in the basket which my apple looks like, but I always have the opportunity and the choice of trying to do something different. And we did not talk about improvement in nursery. We just said, you choose who you are, you figure out who you want to be. Differentiation is all about what we choose to do with ourselves. There are various things that we do in school as they grow older. Every week we have enrichment sessions for every grade. Every Tuesday is English, every Thursday is math, and Wednesdays are dedicated to all the teachers. 3 weeks during the enrichment session to have some special one-on-one time with the teachers so that they can move up to by their class test, and we want them to know what happens in the world outside. It is not always hunky-dory and there is competition, there are marks, there are examinations. What we also do from time to time, not for all tests, we tell them that okay, this is the grade that you got in this test. The teacher will be able to give you another test on Saturday. You might have got a 5 out of 10. If you want to improve, you come for a make-up test on a Saturday. No questions asked. The best marks will be considered in your report. So those are the ways in which we try to bring about some sort of self-realization.
And this is so student-friendly. If you know that you can better your grades, it takes the stress off the tests and the exams. So again, it's a very, very child-friendly atmosphere. You talked about how you do it with students, but how do you ensure the professional development of your teachers? I mean, the teachers also are going through a lot. How do you ensure their well-being? How do you ensure their professional growth?
I'm trying to do it.
Please.
Yeah. So, the professional development of our teachers at Pata, I would want to confess, is a lot contributed by Fumina. She has been the one who has really, I wouldn't use the word push us, but always reinforces at Patan campus that these are the certain areas where we need to touch upon the teachers to be equipped to deliver well in the classroom. And I think all of us, I'm sure, in this forum would know about techno-courses, since you have also...
I haven't done it with them yet.
not
No, that was a life skills course.
Okay.
I didn't do that. Techno-courses comes later in November.
Okay. So techno-courses is what we have taken to our stride, and we are equipping our teachers. In fact, MAN has already conducted a couple of training sessions over a period of 2 years, I think, for our teachers. And in fact, just a week or two ago, where we met Kumi ma'am, and we discussed about how our teachers are going to be mentored for taking. Teaching is not just that you come, you do it in the class and you say, oh wow, it's the best. And the environment is why Kumi ma'am and we're planning to begin from April 1st week, and that's going to spread across all the sections in our campus. We're going to begin with pre-primary and it's definitely going to go to higher secondary. So, having said this, one part of professional development for our teachers, where we're really going to focus only on the teaching delivery. Besides that, there are several other professional development programs that we conduct at our instance, which is equipping teachers with better technological tools. That's also the kind of training program that we do for the teachers. And also that, the kind of pressures that we all teachers face. One are the days that we just got to be in the class and, teach the students, and students, the discussion with the students end there. It's not that. There's so many other things that we need to really today look into to give the holistic and overall development of the student. So I see that there are a lot of other pressures. So how do we really deal with those pressures as a teacher? Because initially, I think what I understand, it's a summative assessment over a period of time. There's so many formative assessments, the different types, and so many others. So how are we really going to deal with that? So these are other such kind of professional development programs that we give to our teachers, so that it is not just that they deliver. So this is what we do.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
As a school, we believe a lot in professional development. We have dedicated times allotted for this, because once you are in a school, what you will find there is a lot of wonderful ideas which cannot be implemented because of lack of time. You have only so many hours to work with. Our learners join in the last week of June, but the teachers come in 2 weeks before that, so that we have dedicated time for teacher professional development. During the course of the year also, we have some dedicated days for a big thing for us. We also believe that we can learn from everyone. So from my school that go for professional quarter, we try to send a group of teachers to another school of repute, so that they can go there, understand, learn systems, actually live the life of those teachers, and then come back, which helps us a lot. Because professional development, online, offline, trying to get people to school, all that works, and of course Kumi has been a part of our professional development journey also. However, when you go through experiences that really in our school, we have built over the years a network of educators who want to be a part of this journey. From South Korea, from UK, from Bangladesh, Nepal, Indonesia, who come to our school. They have to just pay for their tickets. We don't pay for their tickets, but everything else, including the stay, is taken care of by us. And what we do then is that we have one-on-one exchange. Classrooms, our teachers are a part of their workshops, and that works really well. We call it JTEP. It's going to happen in the month of July. If you are interested, you can definitely come. And I would also request something wonderful that happens in the classrooms. And if you go in and experience those classrooms even for an hour or two, you will probably come out a little enriched, and we will learn something from you.
Say this is the be all and end all. Make your notes and then repeat them for the next 40 years. Guess who will be burnt out and bored?
All of us.
Completely soul dead. So I think if you are interested in teaching, if you have a passion for teaching, there is never an end. One of us, and it's some schools like these which really, and they have a completely different set of challenges. So just see. Having said this, my next question, I know we are running late, but 2 more questions, Dr. Ong. But I feel that that's a separate thing. You have to write a test on it and teach it. So how do you do that?
So I'll come to the basics of our organization, vision and mission. We have defined organization values and I call that as a FIST. So we have focus on quality. To it that all these aspects, like let me come to the point of social orientation. Okay, let's go with one by one. Social orientation. Now, how are we really including students in our degree? So, excluding pre-primary, from primary to degree, once in a week, we ask students to clean the playground. So, Mondays is for pre-primary, primary, Tuesdays is for secondary, and we have other aided sections also. So, we've divided your cleanliness. So, this is one aspect. Now, having said that, for degree college, I want to there's one award for best NSS college and best NSS program. Like there's so many
that they have. We call it the literary oasis. Around our school in different communities, we have told parents that you have to send pre-loved books. So you can't buy new books and send. It has to be a book that your child or you have loved, and you have to send those pre-loved books to us. We set up small reading corners in different communities, and our parents have taken up this initiative. So learners, especially primary children, they're over enthusiastic. Our teachers go and they talk to people in their societies. Our parents actually write to us and say that, can you please set up a literary oasis in our society? We are doing it for the hospital near us. You know that the hospital in Borivali, I don't need to name names, but so we are setting up a library for learners there in the schools that we have. We also, another thing that we do is that when parents come in our area, the area that is outside the school, we have set up a free community. And the philosophy is that no one is going to monitor books. We want books to walk. If someone takes a book and walks away with that book, we are very happy that they have done that, because we want those books to be read. And that is spreading a huge lot of, I would say, well-being among the learners as well as parents, the community around us, because we are spreading the message. It's not just English books. We say Marathi, Hindi, you can send in books so that everybody is involved in this initiative. Just one of the initiatives that I am very personally very involved in.
School that you've adopted.
Yes, in the school that we have adopted also, we have adopted a few actually. So we have those, we call them in for our activities when we have a marathon for our learners. The adopted school learners are participants in the same marathon. In fact, they do a really good job. They sometimes run ahead of our learners, and the competition is the same for everybody. So they go ahead and participate in the same competitions. Our parents are involved, our teachers are involved. We have done a lot of crowdfunding, so a huge amount of money has been raised for different social initiatives. And that brings in this whole, the word seva, I think, is the one that brings in the best social and emotional learning for adults, for learners, everyone.
What we in the course call non-egoic service. So see how many opportunities there are for non-egoic service. I mean, these schools could well have said that our responsibility is only to ensure that students get good marks and get their certificates at the end of it. But no, these schools are doing so much to ensure that they really become whole, WHOLE, human beings. And the last question to both you ladies. Ensure quality education. Do you promote global citizenship education in any way with the 5 verticals: planet, peace, prosperity, partnerships, and
So, in fact, I would just sum this entire concept of global citizenship education and the peace that you mentioned. I would consider that in our own way in the form of sustainable development goals. Because all these are touching upon them. You know, whether we call it as hunger, we call it as life above water, we've been talking about women equality, reducing inequality. All these other things, all these goals, you know, climate action, since you're mentioning of planet. So all these things we are teaching in our regular curriculum.
And if I can add, this was the first school or first educational institution. Yeah.
So in fact,
or necessary, not passion. Necessary.
So since ma'am is mentioning that, so we have from the sustainability perspective or planet perspective or climate action perspective, we have in our campus we have about 60 solar panels. We about 18 to 20% of our electricity is taken care of by solar panel. We take up the net metering system over there, so we give our energy supplies to our energy supply provider. Besides that, we also have composting. So, you know, we are blessed with good space in the campus. We have great greenery in the campus. So, what we do is with the composting that we have, we use that manure for our plants. So, again, that is self-sustainable. Besides that, we have rainwater harvesting. So, it is not just about, and let me tell you, we take a tour of the campus with our students. You know, when they just come to the college, when they enter the college, we tell them, come on, let's take a round to the campus, because they know that all these are the things that we do. The students have adopted nursery, they take care of solar panels, the maintenance. So we have a green club squad. So they are the most scarce. How much ever resources we get, हमें लगता है कम है. So that we feel that the human resources to take care of our campus is relatively scarce. So we join hands. The Green Club squad joins hands with the gardener and, you know, all of them to take care that the campus is clean and green. In fact, at the time of NAC, you know, when we went last year, we got accredited with A+, and that's where we mentioned our best practice clean and green campus. So we have about 175 species of trees in the campus. And let me tell you, all of these are labeled by our students. Now, obviously, students would not know what is this tree. So, of course, we took help of the taxonomists and we did all of that. But the students were the ones who were involved in taking up this entire project of clean and green campus. And we created a video that was very much appreciated by everyone.
And I think also the fact that you have a technical institute there, where children can be taught carpentry, electrical work and everything else. So those children are also, and automobile repair, they are asked to contribute. So it all becomes non-egoic service right from day one. Thank you. Yes, I just want to give a I think we should organize these visits for the young people also.
I just made an open invitation to all of you are welcome to the campus.
I have already spoken to my colleague Professor Rajila that BTDC students will be visiting both the schools, and both the institutions will be the regular practice teaching schools of Bombay Teachers Training College, if you agree.
Absolutely.
Yes,
just one thing to add to this wonderful work that's happening. Similarly, in our school, we also believe the one thing that we want our learners to do is take up ownership, become leaders themselves, so that they can take charge of the world. As you are to be the teachers of the next generation, you are learning everything about professionalism, everything that you can do to be professionals in the field of education. I am telling you, after spending so many years in education, in a school, nothing is professional. It's all so personal, and that's why it's important. Only when it's so personal, because each and every bond between a teacher and a child, between the school and the teacher and the parents and our community, everything is extremely personal, because we are bringing up children. And those children are going to inhabit the world that we are creating for them. As long as we remember that it's not personal, it's not professional, it's all very, very personal.
UN program. The
Yes.
UN program is
Absolutely.
Absolutely. For global citizenship.
Absolutely.
They're doing that with that.
Yeah. So every student in the school is a part of the youth summit that we have. It's not just for a few learners. Every activity is for every learner, so that we can bring them up to remember that they are part of this whole planet that we live in. I think boundaries will soon be non-existent.
Obsolete.
Absolutely
They should
obsolete.
be. They should be. Thank you so much, Teachers Strategy. It's such an interesting discussion. I've just covered half the points. We could go on. But I think, as Sir says, it'll be worth your while to visit these campuses. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Thank you. With your mic.
We would like to extend our sincerest gratitude for your invaluable contributions, ma'am. Your expertise, insights, and perspectives enrich our discussions. Your willingness to share your knowledge and engage in thoughtful dialogue made a significant principle.
Dear students, this was one of the best panel discussion that we have witnessed today. I am thankful to both the principals, and I am highly impressed with the way that you have served the society. And I am also thankful to Kumi ma'am. She is your mentor. She is also mentor of Bttc students and faculty. She is also my mentor. I have learned a lot to express our gratitude. I will request all the teachers and students to please give and standing ovation so that.
Highly impressed. Highly impressed the way you have been working. We will definitely visit your campus. I will also say our student teachers for practice teaching. So,
I get my card with you. Yes, we can always connect. Whatever you do, that we can help each other.
but ma'am, have lunch and
Hi, good afternoon, everyone.
Just one quick announcement.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Just wanted to invite you to our school. Kumi will share the address and everything. It's the JBC and International School, Guruvli, on 16th, next Saturday from 9 to 1. Yeah, this Saturday, actually, this Saturday, from 9 o'clock to 1 o'clock. We have what is known as the Innovators Convention, and our learners will be displaying various ideas that they have come up with. There will be more than 150 projects, so you're all very welcome to be there.
So your BTC week doesn't end on Friday.
I could not come this time because of Shimla that time. Yeah, but I don't
So now you are going to school also? So now I'm taking care of CAO. I also have additional child. Wow, so that must be a hard journey. I'm also pursuing my education management from SLT. I'm also studying now. So with this new opportunity, I thought it's always better to there is the foundation. Nice. So the school is See, so we had, the bus has all these different sections. I was just looking into details, but now they said we want to do
Hi, how are you? I'm fine. We met all our Bombay University people. This is Wilbur from Psychology Department. Professor Wilbur and Joseph, Social Professor. Yes. From Homi Baba University. Originally ours, ma'am.
The head of the Bombay University English department. So we are all from different departments.
Yes, yes.
My husband's had a hemorrhage in the eye, so I have to rush to take him to the doctor. Otherwise, I would have sat.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Sorry.
So their basic degrees will be arts and BSc.
Let's move on to the second panel for today. Yes. We have Professor Sybil Thomas as the moderator, Professor Bilal Square, registered HBSU, Dr. Joe Department of Sociology, University of Mumbai, and Dr. Wilbur Gonzalez, Department of Psychology, University of Mumbai as the panelists. I now hand over the session to Benisha and Nikita to introduce our moderator and all the panelists.
So our moderator for the second panel is Dr. Sybil Thomas, a professor at Department of Education, University of Mumbai. She has been in the field of teacher education for over 24 years with a short stint of administrative experience as principal of the St. Xavier's Institute of Education, Mumbai. In 2022, Professor Thomas was appointed as General Manager Academics at Maharashtra State Faculty Development Academy. She is an alumna of Bttc and is a mentor to all the faculty members. She constantly guides us in all our endeavors. Professor Sybil Thomas was appointed as the coordinator of the interactive meeting of the National Council of Teacher Educator team, headed by Member Secretary for the State of Maharashtra under the Government of Maharashtra, Department of Higher and Technical Education on the 2nd and 3rd of June 2023. She has also been the coordinator of Universal Human Values Cell of University of Mumbai and a member of IQAC of the University of Mumbai. With her administrative abilities, Professor Sybil Thomas played an active role as a member of the NAC Committee of University of Mumbai. Ending with a quote that Professor Sybil Thomas stated, "See research as a way to unravel the mysteries with which the Lord has created this earth. At the end, we are simply showing the world how to make this planet and relationships better by the knowledge we generate." Welcome you, ma'am.
I would like to introduce Dr. Joseph M. Dr. Joseph has been working as an assistant professor at the Department of Sociology, University of Mumbai since October 2012. His doctoral research was on the contemporary religious identity of the neo-Buddhists of Maharashtra based on his fieldwork in the city of Aurangabad. His main research interests are centered around sociology of religion. He teaches courses such as anthropological theory, ethnography, and sociology of religion. Intersections of feminism and religion is a research area that he pursues. His publications have mostly concentrated on subaltern philosophy, particularly on the way Dalits and subalterns engage in appropriations and interpretations of religion as projects of emancipation. Taking forward his focus on masculinity and religion from a feminist lens, he has with Dr. Geeta Chanda the volume Re-Imaging in India, Feminist Perspectives. Thank you, sir. We welcome you.
My second panelist, Dr. Wilbur Gonzalez, is an assistant professor at the Department of University of Mumbai for the last 10 years. During his PhD, he was the recipient of Vice Chancellor's Research Fellowship and UGC Junior Research Fellowship. Over the years, he has presented more than 25 research papers and served as a resource person at international and national conferences and other research conventions. He also presented his research work at the round table in the Senate Year Conference of National Career Development Association. Currently, he is a visiting associate at the prestigious Indian Institute of Advanced Studies, Shimla, and is also awarded the same for a spell of another 2 years. He is an executive committee member of the Bombay Psychological Association and also serves on the editorial board of the peer-reviewed journal Bombay Psychologist. He is also on the board of consulting editors of Sambhashan. We welcome you to the conference.
I would like to introduce Dr. Vilas Bhatia. He is a distinguished academic professional with a strong background in psychology, currently serving as a professor and head of Department of Psychology at Elphinstone College and registrar at Dr. Homi Baba State University in Mumbai. Dr. Pakhe's academic journey includes notable achievements such as securing third merit in BA, second merit in ME, and being awarded a PhD in 2012. His research contributions are significant, with 15 papers published in national and international journals and presentations at 4 international conferences. Moreover, Dr. Pathway has authored keywords like Malashastra, Ek Parichay, and Adhunik Samya Malashastra, along with developing the Teacher Assessment Scale, TASC, used for teacher feedback in colleges. His administrative excellence is highlighted by receiving the State Award for Administrative Reforms in 2006. Beyond academia, Dr. Pathway is a vivid wildlife enthusiast, actively involved in tiger conservation efforts, and accomplished writer-director of the award-winning animation short film Let's Save Bobby, promoting conservation awareness with a focus on tiger conservation. I invite Dr. Sybil to begin with the panel discussion.
So thank you, Bttc, for this generous warm welcome to each of us. And what we propose to do in the hour that we are together is each of us coming from different disciplines, and you see education intersects with each of these disciplines. We would now try and discuss on the various trends that are affecting, or the various trends world over that have a relationship with education. We would also like to see from each of our different perspectives and the fields of study through open certain concerns, challenges, opportunities each of these fields bring to each of us. Okay, so each of us would probably speak to you for 8 to 10 minutes, and after which we would have a time of question answer. So I request you to put down your thoughts, put down any questions that you have, and we will discuss that later. So I would begin by talking of some various trends that are happening globally, which are having its implications on education, and education research primarily being a means to address these various changes that we see. So on one hand, we are seeing that the world is growing in multiple ways. We also see that there is a lot of disconnect that is happening between economic, social, as well as political and psychological domains in society. And every time we see that education is looked as a means, as an instrument, as a space in which we are able to address these kinds of connections and disconnections. So let me share my thoughts with you, and my thoughts are primarily taken from the book on Trend Shaping Education 2022, which is an OECD publication and available online, which looks at education right from early childhood to higher education. And for today, we would take up a few from there. Now, why are we doing this? As I began and I said that firstly, we are here to prepare people who are going to be part of societies, and therefore concerns, challenges, opportunities in society is nothing but going to give education direction. And if education has to take direction, it is only through the process of research is what we believe. Secondly, we would be able to reflect on the potential that education has. So being from education, hearing so much, I hope that this is also an opportunity for us to reflect on what potential do we have. Are we using this potential for building, bridging, and creating a society that is harmonious? So the first trend that I would want to talk about is we talk about growth. Okay? And right now, when we say growth, we all put on our economic lenses. And we see that growth has, when we talk of India or the world over, we see living standards have increased. Okay, we have raised in many ways our living standards, but social and environmental sustainability still is a challenge. On one hand, we are talking of growing prosperity, highlights of how extreme kinds of affluence is being not only in developing countries but also in the advanced countries much more. Okay, but on the other hand, we are also talking of extreme poverty. We are also talking of new sources. We see that there are new drivers to growth and no longer tangible resources are considered indicators for growth, but there are a lot of intangible assets that we are talking of. And today, one of our intangible assets in education also is your IT and your information technology, your AI, etc. We also see there are various demographic pressures all over. We are talking of, on one hand, having the largest population of young, but we are also having the aging population and the pressures of the aging population on fiscal and social sustainability. There is a growth revolution that we are talking of, and therefore, even when we are talking of this, it's in contrast to shift towards renewable energy. We are also talking of benefits and challenges that go in with the growing space economy. Now, all these kind of changes within growth is either bringing three kinds of changes for us in society. Either it's breaking previous systems, or it is bending previous systems and processes, or else it is accelerating. Yeah? So these three forms of impacts that we are seeing. Now, what does this have for education? Have you ever thought of that? When we are talking of this, how have we in education, what kind of questions are we asking? How does this influence how does the increasing affluence and the increasing amount of poverty also increase the inequalities in society for which education is called to bridge? So, research then is asked to answer this question. How through education are we going to bridge these kinds of inequalities? In which ways are these intangible sources of assets affecting education today too? What are the impacts of aging population, young population, etc. on education? Is your research addressing issues of how do we deal with these, differently look at innovation and entrepreneurship, etc., but look at the relevance of education for the aging too? How many of us would think of, because researchers are saying that, look, let's start we are talking of growth revolution, and therefore, can we reconceptualize this whole concept of growth and prosperity? So what does growth and prosperity mean? Okay, and that brings me to my second theme, and the whole concept of living and working. Do you know that world over, when I was reading this report, the number of working hours put in by employees are reducing. And the reason why the number of working hours are reducing, and therefore are we addressing questions to our young and to our children as the question of work to live or live to work. And if this changing is happening, what do the people do and how do we engage them in this whole process of education and of the other idea, which is quality of life, for which we are talking of reducing structured working hours, and what do people do beyond? What do people do in terms of during working hours and quality of life for personal safety and social safety? What is this whole structure of education and bringing about cognitive and knowledge-based forms of learning. And today we recognize like never before the need for working hand to hand with non-formal education sectors. Informal and non-formal. It has informal, non-formal and formal education. How have we joined hands? How are we working towards living and working? How are we addressing problems of knowledge? And that brings me to my third theme, that is our whole idea of knowledge and power. Today we are talking of knowledge societies. We explore the expansion of knowledge and production. We are saying that these are possibilities and today we are a knowledge-based driven economy, etc. And I want to ask you this question. Are the big data too big to fail us? Are we driven by the big data and AI? And are they influencing decisions and in society and human experiences is what we would want to ask. With the opening up of sciences, with the opening up of much of the financing of research, that is and behavior, the final key. We all have multiple identities in this world, right? Especially much more if we are talking of e-portfolios in education, we are talking of digital portfolios and name it. And therefore, the question is, if these different forms of identity, how do I bring it together to a whole human being? Okay? We are also talking about the other challenge that is we are talking of this whole adage, that freedom that is there. It's not wrong, but how do we balance this in education, in our pedagogy, in our teachings, to be able to look at that it is one for all and all for one. I don't know how many of you read this cliche. It is from the book, the title of the book, okay, where this was the common cliche that was used. And therefore, with diversification, with the help of, with the kind of different forms of people that we are different kinds of people, transgenders, we're looking at people divided by social kind of forms of inequality, etc. Are we looking at them also as people having a respectable identity and a belonging to our education? And even when we talk to them about speak their mind, but speak your mind to power and knowledge. Are we able to ask questions through research that is generated and ask questions that even we would question knowledge and power? And friends, a gathering like this is going to help us because research is said to be an art and a craft. Yes, and craft comes from these discussions. What are the great forms of methods and tools of doing, which is good methodology, which is good kind of statistics, which kind of these are the tools that we use. But it is art that teaches you to imagine. Imagine the canvas on which you are a player. Understand the forces and colors that are, intermingling with one another and creating the world the way they are, and develop a kind of sensitivity for doing research in the field that we are. Okay, and this imagination and creativity, we hope that through discussions like this, we would think big, look big at the bigger picture, and move beyond those kinds of researches that limit itself to say that it is this A plus B gives me C. But looking at not always A plus B is the next one. Sorry, 1 plus 2 is not equal to 3, but looking at 1 plus 2, doing something beyond number 3. Okay, so this is what we hope, and that is our desire, all four of us, that we would help you imagine, create, identify, and locate yourself and your researchers. So with that, we have the next very exciting, so therefore the process of research being scientific is what we would all agree with, but how do we really proceed? And how does this research as a process influence each one of us is what we will discuss in the next 10 minutes with Professor Fateh with us. So over to you, Dr. Fateh.
Hello.
Slideshow.
So, very good afternoon to one and all.
Good afternoon, sir.
That's more of a good time response. Young teacher, students and student teachers, right? Nice to be here. Thank you so much for the invitation. Malani sir, हमारे संतोष के साथी. So we are both registrars of these newly founded universities. So teaching troubles जो है हम कई सारे share करते हैं. So and of course civil man, Dilbar sir, and sir, all the colleagues, teachers. And from there, man left actually the art and craft of research or education as we move forward. Well, yes, we need to know the craft definitely. Then all art and no craft can also create certain problems. So we need to understand the nitty-gritties of the craft as well. And then, of course, when you apply it, it has to be in its own artistic way. So without wasting much time, I'll consume some mandatory 10 minutes of yours. I'll quickly run through some of the important key concepts, and then maybe we could, look forward to some of the discussions that we will have. Now, why is research important? Why is this, research, इतना UTC से लेकर, MAC से लेकर, schools में, colleges में, everybody is talking about research. Why is research really so important? I mean, we have so much of common sense, so much of conventional wisdom. Can we not go along with that? Okay. So I have a simple question for you. If I can move this. Okay. Then can I move it from here? Technology, friends. So there was this person, if I can recall the name correctly, maybe not, absent-minded professor typically. So what he said was, to err is human. That we all know. To err is human. But to really foul things up, you need a computer. So anyway, चलो इसका हम बाद में देखते रहेंगे. I have a very simple question for you. On it, if the slide comes there, then you can take a look at that. If you want to tie a rope around the earth, how much rope would you need? Alright, so we need an earth first, and what we need to do is we want to tie a rope around it. Alright, so there is some lag, but nevertheless, how much rope do we need? That is the question. Alright, simple. So for that purpose, what you need is the circumference. Alright, now we all know it's around what 40,000 kilometers. Alright, mota hisab, geography students, my colleagues here, teachers would have a different perspective. So you have a rope that would be of the length of 40,000 kilometers. Now convert that into meters, कितना हो जाएगा? 4 lakh, 40 lakh, 4 crore. Alright, 4 crore meter length का rope लगने वाला है. Finally that. Now I have another question. If you want to increase the height by 1 meter, alright, ये earth के बाजू में, इसके ऊपर से you need another rope over here. 1 meter, what higher than this? कितना ज़्यादा rope लगेगा? How much more rope will you need? Simple question. इसको लग रहा है 4 करोड़ मीटर का. 1 मीटर ऊपर लेके गए तो गोल घुमा के कितना ज़्यादा लगेगा? Any guess?
It depends upon the thickness of the rope that.
Okay, same thickness. Thickness में no difference. The same thickness, same rope.
No, I think the circumference now will increase a little bit because the radius, the diameter.
Exactly. That's the point. So the thing is, how much more? अगर ये 4 करोड़ है तो एनी वाइल्ड गेस 1 करोड़ 50 लाख 2 करोड़ 10% extra 25% extra. I want a quick estimate based on our conventional wisdom, or you could just write it down and keep it for yourselves. Alright, you have some figure at the back of your mind. Everyone thinking about it कि अरे इतना लंबा रोप लगेगा ये लगेगा वो लगेगा stuff like that. All right. Now I think can we नहीं उसको छोड़ दो. अभी I was supposed to write over there इसके नहीं पढ़ते. What is the circumference? Pi. Then so you will be writing 2 pi r. That is that 40 कितना था 4 crore meters. What is the new circumference that you have? 2 pi in bracket r plus 1. 2 pi in bracket r plus 1. इसको इक्वेशन को सॉल्व करो क्या मिलेगा? 2 pi r
2 pi r
plus 2 pi. करेक्ट? तो 2 pi r तो पहले अपने पास था. एक्स्ट्रा कितना लगा? What is 2 pi? 2 into 3.14, 6.8 meters. Did anyone come anywhere close to that? जिसको लगा ऐसा tell me honestly कि सर सिर्फ 6 मीटर ज्यादा लगेगा. Conventional wisdom tells us sir 2-4-5 लाख किलोमीटर ज्यादा लगेगा something like that. You must have scribbled down or somewhere in your heads the amount of rope extra that would be needed. But honestly nobody ever comes anywhere close to below 10 meter rope extra लगेगा. 1 मीटर ऊपर से पूरा rope मार है. Why does that happen? At times conventional wisdom fails. Alright, and it fails miserably. So if Balani sir were to be sponsoring that rope, तो वो तुम 10-50 लाख 1 करोड़ मीटर एक्स्ट्रा खरीद के लाके रखकर बोलते सभी सिर्फ 6 मीटर दे दो बाकी रख लो. Many times our decisions go wrong. Why? Simply because common sense and conventional wisdom, as you call it, that usually does not fit everywhere. And for that purpose, you need is something called research, something called very concrete, logical, rule-based thinking. Will you agree to that? All right. I don't think this is going to work. एक काम करते हैं इसको आप escape कर दो. अच्छा आ रहा है. अच्छा अभी आ रहा है. Okay, good.
Sir, can I take one moment?
Yes.
Required for that. I wish to request to the volunteers password. Please switch off that. Switch off your Wi-Fi. Check the speed outside. That's what it is. It's a request to you right now. Please put your Wi-Fi off. So it's taking overload today, and that's why it's not supporting. Thank you very much to the volunteers, please. Yes.
To also, take you off your WhatsApp and Snapchats and whatever Instagram going at the back.
Data pack for the time.
So you could do that. So basically, continue with your cell phones, but not with the, institutional data. Okay, I'll very quickly take you through this. Why do we need research in education? Alright, forget the technology and all that. Why do we need that? Number one, I just go through that. You have effective teaching practices. Everybody wants to teach effectively. Alright, that's basically one of the very core principles, ideologies, reason I have to you are here into a BEd college. Everybody wants to teach effectively. So whether it's your teaching methods or the curriculum, the techniques or the outcomes, how do you measure that? Alright, not based on hunch, not based on this so-called conventional wisdom, because time changes. There are so many of us who keep on thinking that, let's say, what's that, chat GPT, Google, pura education barbaad kar diya and stuff like that. Is it really so? Think twice about that. Even earlier when we are giving assignments, students were keeping books in front of them and scribbling it down. When they were using Wikipedia and scribbling it down. So what is reduced is only that small effort of scribbling down, nothing going in the head, simply a chat GPT output is coming. So many times if you look at it, nothing much has really changed. Alright? What you need to do is, you have to follow completely different perspective or a roadmap in order to reach your goals. And that many times is something that you would get from this research. Now, evidence-based decision making. All of us need to make decisions, whether it is the administration, whether it is the teachers, whether it is people who are devising the curriculum. Where does this come from? So what we do is, usually if I want to prepare a new syllabus, one thing is, we have this board of studies. We go to other universities, discuss syllabus kya hai, wo kya padha rahe, ye kya. In a way, this is also research. In a way, it is. Research does not necessarily mean that keep a hypothesis in front and either to disapprove it, something of that nature. In a way, we have to reach out and we have to check for outcomes. So if I were to ask Wilbur, here, तुम्हारे यहाँ पे ये course कैसा चल रहा है? What are the outcomes? He would say, yes, kids are getting placement. We have a good outcome. So in a way, I'm taking what knowledge base he has created through his experience, and I'm trying to, get that on board and try to apply it over here. So somewhere, if we are not following the research wala, method, we might actually end up with those traditional, courses that are very stubborn, refuse to, change the inertia that goes with that, or typical BA, BCom, BSc. You must have all seen, वो जो inertia है, वो change नहीं होता. Alright, we don't, get ahead with that. Then, yes. Let's say professional development. Whether it is the CAS mandated research papers that we need, for that CAS proposal to get an associate professor. But I think beyond that, professional development does call for some research. We actually keep on doing this all the time without quite realizing, that we are quite using tools and techniques of research, the data analysis that we do, the decisions that we take. The more you focus on, the latest updated trends, for example, that's a part of research. See, every day I have to read a newspaper. Every day. Why? Because as a social scientist, I have to be aware of what's going on in the world. All of us. So that's a part of my, duty in a way. So as a teacher, I find that मैंने वो मेरा psychology का King Morgan V chapter syllabus और मैं उतना खत्म, and then you ask me like what we are talking about this I have a chat GPT stuff, or now in Kerala they have introduced what is that AI based model who will be now taking over on jobs or something like that. So if that is happening in the world outside, keeping myself updated through various research papers that I come across is also a part of my professional development. Alright. Then another point that I wanted to discuss was addressing equity and diversity. Madam was just mentioning that. How do we know how many girls are into education? I mean, I can see all girls over here for a change. But then how many boys for a change are into education? Alright, and how many girls? All jokes apart, we know that the ratio is definitely skewed in favor of boys. Why is that? So, and how do we come to know that there are less amount of girls going into education? For that, we need solid data, GR, gross enrollment ratio, and all that comes in. So, without proper research, you will never be able to come down to corrective measures. Where do I know that girls need scholarship schemes? What are the problems? So sociology say, hey, he would tell you better about that. So disadvantaged groups in society, the transgenders and others, I was talking about. So the law has come with the scholarship, all fee waivers to people from the transgender community. Why? There is some research that goes on behind that, and you cannot bring in inclusion, equity without proper database to support your decision making. Improving student achievement. So beyond those, what you call the typical examinations that we have, answer the following questions and all, we have moved ahead. We have moved ahead to, let's say, what presentation, examination is to call the Babu exam. Why? The exam, pass your degree, milega sirf Babu. Just passing those examinations, getting those marks. But now the world has moved ahead. Alright, and when I make these, assessments of students and their achievements, I have to take into account a wide range of skill sets. We just now, inaugurated one very nice seminar or workshop, you could say, in Sidnam College. So वहाँ पे वो चल रहा है, they are talking about all these faculties and facets concerning student education in NEP. And there are a lot of those sessions going on right now. So everybody is thinking about that. Educators, everybody joining hands over here. Then, advancing educational theory and practices. It's very important. It's like chicken and egg game. What came first? पहले थियरी आया उसको प्रैक्टिस में लेके आया या प्रैक्टिस में ऑब्जर्व करके उसके ऊपर थियरी बना. But they go hand in hand, they are intertwined with each other. Certain observations, you create a theory, you propose a theory, and then you would like to validate that theory. So this is all a continuous ongoing process, and none of these two, either one of these two I would rather say, would exist independently. So unless and until we don't keep on revising our theories, whatever they might be, Einstein का theory को challenge होगा. Theory of relativity is being challenged, so you know, by social background wala theories, education theories. So you had Bloom's taxonomy, for example. That's a theoretical model, you know. Now people are challenging that and coming up with new models. So this is an ongoing process. That is where research is important. It's not something that I feel that way, you know, I'm a big intellect ज्ञानी पर्सन और मैं बोल रहा हूँ मेरे को नहीं मानते, you know, that's not going to work. We would like to have more robust research behind that. Promoting lifelong learning. I think research is not just restricted to degrees. Whether it is about, you know, reading newspapers, trying to refine my own life, trying to, you know, focus on the things that I have to do in my own life, whether it is health, whether it is, you know, my assets or investment or family, personal life, friends, everywhere you find that we are taking into account your trends. This lifelong learning is beyond what we call as mere books and exams and casts and PBAs and proposals ke aage bhi there is something that goes on. And finally, I would rather say it is about networking, and this is the perfect platform for that. Very people across the discipline, maybe interdisciplinary in nature, maybe your friends and colleagues. Aajkal latest kya chal raha hai, how do you share your thoughts and ideas? That is one, you know, thing that research allows you to do. Because when you publish a paper, when you know, organize a conference like this, you have a certain research-based, you know, data that comes in front of you, and then you get to exchange. So I think I just like to briefly put it in a nutshell. So that's basically my idea of research, and maybe looking forward, if you have any questions, we'll you know, take those also. So thank you so much.
Looking at the process of research, we would now move on as to how then we could have a process that would be driven by integrity, which will be driven by some form of values and standards which we would call as ethics broadly. So over to Dr. Wilbur, and Dr. Wilbur would present his thoughts to us on what do we keep in mind while doing the process of
Thank you, ma'am. Okay, hi everyone, and I'm Dr. Wilbur from the Department of Applied Psychology, another psychologist here in the panel. And thanks for having me here, all the organizers. Yes, as Sir pointed out that in the first 15 minutes I was observing, not first 15, first 5-10 minutes, that everyone was immersed into their phones, and I think it was 75% of the people I was taking account, you know. Yeah. Okay, am I audible now? Yes. Thank you. So, coming to the problem, when I was given this, you know, this platform to speak about research, and the mail I received on what this panel would be about, so the whole conference is about creating centers of excellence. It made me contemplate what would I like to engage with. Okay, do I take epistemological stance and speak about methods? And I think that's what all of you all are doing in classroom, right? You all might have some type of research methodology course, and you might be learning different methods, different sampling techniques, different approaches to doing research, okay, different ideas of philosophy of science and stuff like that, okay, happening. I thought we'll take a more ontological type of discourse, okay. The reason is because in what type of ecosystem does research survive? And I can very well connect it from where Sir left us, you know. So the need for research, what is relevant research? Okay, Madam spoke about, you know, what are the trends you got to be researching in. But all this would be possible only if it occurs within an ecosystem of research. Okay? Let's ask a very you are trying to publish, right? Does it mean that, you know, that publishing only somewhere validates your research, or does the idea of the act of doing research is enough in itself? Okay, trying to find the answer that why was so much emphasis. Okay, over the years, it's not some recent development. Okay, now we are talking about UGC CAN list and how Scopus will become compulsory, and it's even more. So why this whole point of all this parameters of standard being kept? Okay, the answer I could reach as a researcher is that research does not exist in vacuum. Right? I do not make claims of knowledge creation because I'm calling myself a researcher or because I'm engaging in research. Of doing research, okay, is somewhere given some acceptance from other people researching in the same area, and that's what we call a peer review process. Okay. Now the whole challenge to something like a peer review process or a proper editorial process is the idea of what today is spoken a lot about is what as predatory journals. Now, what happens with predatory journals? Okay, you might be receiving emails. Okay, a lot of academicians here and researchers here, senior researchers here, telling you to publish, telling you that we are nominal field, telling you that ease of publishing. Okay, that you will publish all within 2 weeks, within 1 month. Some of them claiming a proper peer review process. Okay, saying that we go to a proper a double-blind peer review, follow a double-blind peer review process, all these very fancy words, and they will tell you that, but we will get our work published within a month. Now the question is, does it raise alarm? Okay, and why it is important to raise alarm? Because we are in this delusion that we are researchers because we are doing research and because we are publishing. Now this delusion somewhere has to be dealt with, actually contributing to knowledge. And who questions that knowledge? What we are generating. It is a claim, because if it is not, whatever you are generating goes unchecked. Okay, it just goes from your table, okay, what we call as a manuscript, okay, to a journal who is ready to publish it for a fee. Okay, there are no checks and balances. No one has seen that your work, what you have done, is actually contributing work. The approaches what you have used are really properly done. Okay, the methods you have used are properly engaged with. There is no checks and balances. So the gap between saying that you are a researcher to claiming knowledge generation is somewhere can be bridged only if a proper practice of academic integrity is taken into account. There's many points I wanted to speak about, but because of the paucity of time, okay, you can go on the idea of self-plagiarism, because I have known a lot of people, well-established people in the field, okay, who have written, in 20 years of their career, have written 40 books. It makes me question, okay, that means 2 books. And it's not that it's a very linear process, right? It's not that every year you'll be publishing 2 books, okay? And I try to, I'm not interested in what they are doing, but it made me look at their work. And I noticed is the same thing is repeated in all books, and the names of the books are changed. Okay, it speaks about self-plagiarism, right? If 70% of the matter is from the previous book is brought into a new book, okay, it's that whether this publication actually account for publications. There are many other examples I can give. I have put up some reports. Sorry, I have put up some reports which have spoken up. Yeah, the previous. This is fine. Okay, different Supreme Court judgments and High Court judgments of plagiarism. Okay, which shows in the year 2016, one report said that there were 147 cases of there were 28 judgments of plagiarized theses were 15, and these were the reported ones. Let's not speak about the unreported ones. Then there are examples. I have not named people for I do not want to name people, but there were reports in different newspapers, okay, of different UGC reports. It went to the parliament, okay. Stanford University professor writing against head VC of a given university, okay. Different vice chancellors from different reputed universities, okay, also found to be guilty of plagiarism. And this makes us question the whole ecosystem we are functioning in, or when we do research, okay, does research actually being propelled in this right system? I will quickly just give a glance of 2 there were many more, but two messages I had received from some unknown organizations, okay, asking me whether I would be interested. Okay. So it made me look at okay, it's not moving to that slide, okay, but I could have shown you evidences, or academic integrity or really a joke sometimes. Yeah. So you can see I've wrapped up the name of the organizations, okay, but asking me directly on my LinkedIn profile, okay, through message, okay, asking me whether I would be interested in writing papers for people, okay, for a fee, okay, whether I would be interested in writing PhD research. Now that makes me think, okay, all the doctorates and all the theses, I'm not questioning all doctorates, even I'm a doctorate, then I have to question mine too, okay, yeah, but do we have a standardization process? Right? And these are questions we need to ask. Others, see, we are living in our own delusion of, saying that we are doing research, and I'm, the whole identity of being a researcher and feeling proud about it, okay, but if you do not have checks for our own selves, okay, and within the system we are working, then I think it could somewhere over time be a fruitless activity. I'm not trying to be pessimist, but we need to be realist also. Actually engage with proper questions of research. Okay, why does, why is the need for creating a proper ecosystem, and how does it relate to the idea of it? First of all, we have not been defensive of our position that academic integrity and personal integrity are the same thing. People may have, high personal integrity, okay, but does not mean that the level of academic integrity they engage in, okay, is, correlated to a higher degree, right? Because academic integrity sometimes compromised unknowingly, okay, now that is also because of the lack of proper training. You see, most of our research training in our country, okay, focuses on the epistemological issues. We are not, I do not know how many courses research or understand how, like sir was speaking about theory and practice. Okay, how does research relate to theory? Right? When first I started, or be interested, or just some, research questions I would be interested in. Okay, and I should take so much pride in fitting this in the larger knowledge domain. Okay, so yeah. So yeah, then the idea of, yeah, then the question of time, okay, the biggest challenge for us as academicians is time. Okay, we are expected to give our API scores and in our case and all, but okay, most of the advanced universities, you'll be surprised, okay, the teaching load on average is 2 hours per week. Okay, and most of them are teaching is aligned to research. Okay, the identity of a researcher is given primary focus. So the courses they teach are the areas what they are researching. So they are engaging in research. Because they are engaging in research, they have depth of knowledge, and they just walk into the class and engage with students about the work they are doing. Right? So it could be 90 hours a year on average, 90 to 100 hours a year. Okay, and these are not figures. But if you look at our ecosystem of work we are doing, okay, the amount of work we are expected to put at least 30 or 40 hours a week, if I'm not wrong. Okay, so where does academic research thrive in this type of ecosystem? These are things we need to look in. Okay, then training, okay, unawareness about the mistakes we are doing and all can, okay, and when there's internet and technology, the ease of getting access, okay, can make us more prone to finding shortcuts. Okay, so the last point I would focus upon, just to conclude, I do not want to go because I think we have less time, okay, is this whole obsession about a plagiarism check software being the answer for everything. Okay. I would just quickly run around certain point that how it does not become an answer to everything, okay, even as an answer. Plagiarism check only solves only 20% of the problem. And that's what even the UGC guidelines, if you look at it carefully, okay, with the UGC guideline which came out on academic integrity and prevention of plagiarism, okay, very clearly states that, okay, that it is one minuscule part of the process. Okay, why? Because what do we do with data theft? No plagiarism check software looks into the idea of data theft, right? What do we do about people who submit a single paper to multiple publications by changing a title? right? And most of those journals, maybe people may, may not read even those journals. So that also goes unchecked. Okay? What happens about inaccurate authorship? Right? I think Dr. Joseph is going to speak about power relations in research. Right? So when I'm in a high position, I may claim authorship or first authorship, okay? And people who have really worked on the paper, I may just give them second or third authorship, or I may not give them authorship. Okay? So this becomes also a problem of academic integrity. Okay? So academic hierarchies, powers, claims on ideas which are not this. Okay? What happens about cross-language plagiarism? Okay? These are also questions, because I can copy from some French paper, translate it in English, right? And the plagiarism software is not able to detect it. Okay, because plagiarism software do not have the ability to, probably with AI and all, tomorrow it will happen. But till now, it is, to the best of my knowledge, cross-language plagiarism cannot be dealt with. Okay? So these become huge questions for us. And why am I raising these questions is, again, to reiterate, I'm not trying to be a pessimist. Okay, neither am I trying to be an idealist. Okay, we all know the reality in what we function in, right? But I just wanted to, somewhere, among all the, good ideas we are learning about research, okay, to pinch a little discomfort in you, right? And I think that if that, bit of discomfort is created, okay, as young researchers, I can see many young researchers over here, okay, it will make us think in these lines. Yeah? So with this small deliberation, I would like to end my
Thank you, Dr. from Sociology, and you would contextualize research for us in the context of NEP and its relevant issues for teaching and learning. Over to you, Dr.
Hello. I think I'm audible, right? Thank you, ma'am. I'm just looking at NEP and teaching and research both together. So just a few pointers based on my teaching experience of like a colleague of my powerless points. So one of the first kind of agenda of national education policy that is very relevant to educational research is interdisciplinarity or multidisciplinarity, because education is by its very nature multidisciplinary. Now, what are the challenges in that? A lot of people talk about it as an agenda for research and teaching, but how much of research and teaching is really interdisciplinary? That's a big question, because why I say this is that our disciplines are in silos. Our disciplines a post-enlightenment European kind of a paradigm where specialization was the catchword. So we are all highly specialized. So we don't, for example, if you ask the Department of Chemistry to an interdisciplinary course which can be attended by everyone, they are at a loss. They say, we'll have to dilute our discipline so much. Getting out of these silos, our research agenda and the teaching agenda will not become interdisciplinary or multidisciplinary. In this, actually, there is some kind of work that is got this line, and I would recommend that we get ourselves familiarized with it. There's a book which was published in India by it is authored by Anup Dhar, Tejaswini Niranjana, and K. Sridhar, and they are looking at how science education can be made multidisciplinary or interdisciplinary in India. Then there is another book which got published 2 years ago, and that book is titled Mapping the Scientific Method, Multidisciplinary Narrations. Mapping the Scientific Method, Disciplinary Narrations. Now this is a book exploring how the silos can be broken across the natural sciences, the social sciences, and the humanities. Now this book is edited by Rennie Thomas and Geeta Chadda, my ex-colleague Geeta Chadda. So these two books actually are very pioneering in India in terms of anyone who would like to actually look at the agenda of interdisciplinarity or multidisciplinary training or research. That's the first agenda. I'm just. Second is the stress on Indian knowledge systems. the stress on Indian knowledge systems that the national education policy is giving. And I think this is something that should become a research agenda for us. Whatever topic that you are looking at, Indian knowledge systems need to find a place. Why I'm saying this is that very European and very Western, because the Western and Europe is seen as elitist and the others are seen as different. Now, the conceptualize Indian knowledge universities. It talks about a lot, it comes to the present time and says that those things in Indian languages in our teaching and in our research. That's a huge challenge because what happened, and this has to be addressed because the profile of the students who come to our colleges and universities has changed. And that change is coming from a lot of our students now schooled in regional languages are coming into institutes of higher education. And at least from my experience in some colleges in Mumbai and University of Mumbai, I would say they are excluded from our systems. They don't get the basic books in that language. They are forced to write in English. So our systems have become too elitist, which are excluding students who are schooled in regional languages. So how do we address that? It's easy to say equity and inclusion. How do we actually bring that into our research and teaching? One last comment on connected to this. Particularly in sociology, when we talk about pedagogy and research, we use the word critical pedagogy, and I leave that out because I don't have enough time. But another thing that we say is collaborative, cooperative learning, or team learning, or team research. A lot of people today talk about team research. Dr. Wilbur talked about authorship, like singular authorship, multiple authorship. Who is the author? Question. Now, team research, team writing, collaborative learning, collaborative research, cooperative learning, the classroom as a cooperative endeavor, very interesting words. On the other, there is the movement towards examination. Now we have a national testing agency. The entire examination system is nationalized. Number one. Number two, what is the method that is used in this national exams? Multiple choice questions which privilege memory test and rote learning. Now you have entire philosophy of learning and research which is collaborative and cooperative, but the assessment will be on rote learning. Unless we have a system whereby our MCQs can take this content of collaborative learning into those questions rather than just memory. Like today, the entire measurement of your educational accomplishment is, this is a new word that is coming to the use. It was not there some time ago. It is about cracking tests. I cracked that and I cracked this. I don't know when this crack came into the examination system. How to crack IAS, how to crack MPSC, how to crack whatnot. Okay, everything people are cracking now, and then our Prime Minister is giving Pariksha Pe Charcha, not Shikshan Pe Charcha, but Pariksha Pe Charcha. It's all about exams. Now, if with this kind of so much concentration on exams of a particular kind, what happens to learning? What happens to research, which is supposed to be inclusive, cooperative, and collaborative? What happens to that? This is a huge question. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you to all my colleagues who presented all that we thought we need to address issues and concerns. And now over maybe one or two questions before we close this session. Any thoughts? Need not leave in question. Any comments? Any thoughts on what was spoken for in this research panel? Yes.
I like what sir talked about Indian language systems and the condition education, but we see the condition in Maharashtra of Marathi schools being shut day by day. So how does NEP tackle this problem? That language is trying its own homeground.
Actually, NEP gives a lot of emphasis to this. See, probably NEP is a policy. It depends on each state government to implement it through a GR. Now, if you look at NEP as a document, Maharashtra government's GR as a document, there is a lot of value to books available in the language in higher education institutions. So it's all there, but it's not implemented. Probably it's still in the future. I hope it will be done. Yeah.
But only add to that, if you allow me to. Many a times what happens is the schools, not because of the language, but the school and the system becomes redundant. So whether it's English or Hindi or Marathi is not very important. So you find many English medium schools also, falling behind. So when that system, that ecosystem within which they used to thrive 20, 30, 50 years back, they don't see the change in reality and they lag behind, anchored into, a distant world. That is the problem more than language many times.
Okay, any other observations? Yes.
I really like what Dr. Wilbur said, especially about self-agency. I think the pressure is put on to
Yes, thank you for being in panel discussion and you've enriched our discussion and added immense value to the event. In addition to the panel discussions, I would like to inform the audience that we've organized technical sessions focused on specialized topics and emerging trends in education. Before we break for lunch, I would request Kalani sir to please felicitate our panelists.
Good afternoon to all. I won't take much of your time, but I'm really thankful to our mentor, Dr. Subir Thomas, for bringing such a diverse faculty from psychology department and sociology. And I'm very happy that many questions which were raised during the discussion are very critical and needs reflection on our part. So I'm very happy about it. We need to ask ourselves whether we are working for life or something, living for work or work for living. So somewhere, but if you look at parallelly Narayana philosophy, and he suggests that we should work 70 hours per week if we wish to really nation. So I won't suggest anything on that, but I will say that please reflect on that also. But parallel to that, what is my question? According to the UGC guidelines, we follow a semester system, and student have to invest 600 hours in a semester, and in a year, a student has to invest 1200 hours for learning. And if you look at as far as the presence of students in the campus is concerned, it's questionable. So my question is that why students are not investing their precious time in learning either in the campus or off the campus. So we really need to have a conference on this issue, how to attract students to the campus, how to engage the students in a meaningful manner as far as learning is concerned. Learning may be related to classroom, related learning may be online, learning may be field-based studies, maybe apprenticeship, learning may be internship, but we really need to take up this major issue and debate on it so that we can spread more light on it. So with this small note, I'm thankful to all the panelists for being here and enlightening our students.
I, Benisha Fernandez, would like to express a formal vote of thanks on behalf of the IQAC of Bombay Teachers Training College. I would like to thank our esteemed Vice Chancellor, Professor Dr. Hemlata Bakla, for gracing us with her presence. I would also like to thank our beloved Principal, Dr. Bhagwan Bulani, for always being supportive and giving us the platform and resources to host our events. I would like to thank our Vice Principal, Dr. Mandeep Kaur Kochar, for always guiding us. I would also like to extend our gratitude to our dear faculty members for their dedication and constant support throughout the planning and execution of this event. I express my gratitude to the non-teaching staff who have helped behind the scenes to make this program possible. A big thank you from the bottom of my heart to my classmates for their relentless hard work and timely help. Last but not least, I would like to thank the lovely and patient audience for an enlightening and enjoyable event. Thank you.
Thank you to all for this wonderful session, and here we complete our morning session and the panel discussions. So it's my duty to make the announcements. All the registered participants, please go to the library and have your lunch break now, and volunteers will look after, and the coupons will be given for the lunch. So I request you quickly have your lunch in the library, and please dispose the disposables carefully, which is very, very important. Second announcement, 7th floor and